101. After Ishida Sora shot Yama's soul-chasing arrow, the two returned to the cabin. Then third Hokage never imagined that we could do it the other way around. Do you think Sarutobi Hiruzen will just be killed like this? Ishida Dodong learned about the magic of the arrow through the people of his clan, and asked Ishida Sora as soon as he returned to the cabin. If Sarutobi Hiruzen dies like this, it will definitely deal a big blow to Konoha, and it is definitely good news for the Ishida family. It's hard to say. Ishida Sorikari shook his head. Just now he could feel that when he launched the Sharingan, the third Hokage was obviously on guard. Combined with the Uchiha clan's attack on them the night before, it is very likely that Konoha already knew some clues about his eyes. Ishida Sorikari can be sure that if Sarutobi Hiruzen is not dead, he will definitely focus on finding ways to resist his Sharingan's pupil technique ability. Feeling this idea of Ishida Sorikari, Ishida Xinkai deeply agrees. Ishida Xinkai sat high in the shrine and passed through the cage of the Ancestor 01 spirit, just like experiencing what happened just now. At the same time, he naturally had a panoramic view of Wu Ying's expressions. After living a whole life in the world of Hokage and dying half his life, he naturally knows that everyone in the world is not a good person, let alone a shadow of a village. Since Konoha chose to wipe out the Ishida family, she was already fully prepared, and not all the ninjas who came to attack were left in the Ishida family every time, and Konoha had more or less mastered it. Got some news about Ishida's family. And Ishida Sorikari, as the head of the Ishida family and the owner of the Mangekyo Sharingan, even the Uchiha clan knew about it. If he, Sarutobi Hiruzen, didn't know about it, he would be the first to not believe it. Today, Ishida Xinkai can understand what Ishida Sora is doing in the gym. The pretense is remarkable, and it even blows out the aura of Shurnakagia. Although some pretense is not in place, it is acceptable to Ishida Xinkai. After all, Ishida Sorikari was a ninjutsu lunatic who only knew how to practice before. He was endowed with a state of strategizing and stimulated by himself to have the ambition to become the overlord. It was the first time that Ishida Xinkai was able to do so when facing the 5 major countries. Satisfied, Ishida Xinkai didn't think that Ishida Sora had gone too far. If he knew what the minister of Yuno country had said, he would definitely agree with him. Ishida Xinkai knew that if it were him, he would be even more arrogant than Ishida Sora. But I have to prepare for my ancestor. I don't know how many thousand gods' spiritual power. I don't know if I can get good things. Ishida Xinkai sighed and said with some expectation, as for exchanging the blood successor limit, it doesn't exist. A blood successor limit needs at least a few thousand divine power, and it's not what Ishida Xinkai wants. Where is the excitement of a lottery that can be drawn once with 10 divine power? Start the lottery draw now. System, first give me a lottery draw to try my luck. After transforming into a battle spirit last time, although a lot of divine power was consumed, Ishida Xinkai still has 4,978 divine power points due to the increase in the past few days. Ding. Consume 10 points of spiritual power to draw a lottery. Congratulations to the ancestors for getting the talent, which can give the clansman blood successor limit. Copying eyes. Advertisement 10 points of divine power were consumed, and the system quickly gave a reminder. A pair of blood-red pupils with strange runes and 5-pointed star formations appeared in Ishida Shinkai's mind. Copy eye. One of the 5 magic eyes from the anime Legend of the Legendary Brave. When activated, a vermilion pentagram will appear in the pupil. It can read the energy existing in the space you see in front of you and the energy structure that unfolds. As long as you have seen the ninjutsu once, even if it is a bloody ninjutsu, you can use it freely as long as it is not blood-related. The special magic eye, the blood inheritance limit, can only be granted to clan members under the age of 6. What? Seeing the hint attached to those eyes, Ishida Xinkai almost bit off his tongue. The copying eye, the legendary magic eye, can copy all magic, and ninjutsu can naturally be copied, and after awakening, it can even analyze and decipher all magic and ninjutsu. This is definitely a bug-like ability. I got it. Ding. It is found that there is a defect in the pupil technique, and it can be repaired. The repair is divided into individual repair and perfection, and genetic repair and perfection. Consuming 100 points of divine power can be repaired and perfected alone. The side effect of using the pupil technique will enter a state of rampage. 3,000 points of divine power are required for gene repair and perfection. The genetic repair is perfect. Let Laozi immediately restore and perfect the genetic limit of this blood successor. Hearing the system's prompt, Ishida Xinkai had no time to hesitate, and hurriedly urged the system in his heart. With 3,000 points of spiritual power, It is far inferior to the copy eye in front of Ishida Xinkai at this moment. You must know that in this ninja world, chakra exists more or less in any creature. Having a copy eye and being able to analyze chakra is equivalent to having the ability to analyze everything. Spirit power, 3000. Remaining divine power, 1968. Ding. The genetic restoration of the blood successor's limit has been completed, and the defect of going into a runaway state after the pupil operation is activated has been repaired. 060. The completion of the system prompt made Ishida Xinkai's heart startled, and then he set his sights on the lottery draw. Today is my ancestor's lucky day. It must be. Give me 10 consecutive draws. So 100 points of spiritual power for 10 consecutive draws is nothing to Ishida Xinkai. Ding. Consume 100 points of divine power. Do 10 consecutive draws. Ding. Congratulations to Zhu Ling for getting the props. Newbie ninjas practice kanai. *1. Ding. Congratulations to Zhu Ling for getting the props. Supermarket discount coupon collected by Saitama *1. Ding. Congratulations to Zhu Ling for obtaining sword skills. Jihajian. *1. A series of prompts flashed, none of which was normal. But Ishida Xinkai didn't panic at all when she just got the copy eyes. This time it's 50, no, 100 consecutive draws. Ishida Xinkai said something, paused for a moment, then changed his words suddenly, and continued. Ding. Consume 1,000 points of divine power to perform 100 consecutive draws. After a while, Ishida Xinkai's spiritual power was exhausted, and there was no useful good thing after copying eyes, but Ishida Xinkai's eyes were still full of excitement. 102. With the return of princes and nobles from all over the world. The upper echelons of all countries in the world already know what happened in Tiandufu on Hangzhou Island. After all, Hangzhou Island is a country of business ninja, and their business ninjas spread all over the world, and even what happened on Hangzhou Island tends to spread to ordinary people. But whether it is ordinary people or princes and nobles, everyone is wondering whether the Ishida family is crazy or not. For a long time, the status of the 5 major powers has been deeply rooted in people's hearts. Although the Ishida family has recently conquered the Land of Fields and the Land of Iron, and even has a Kage-level swordmaster, in the eyes of many people, the Ishida family is still just a ninja family in a small country. The Colossus is really not worth mentioning. However, the Ishida family's appearance in the public eye is too short after all, and many people do not have any hope for the Ishida family. There was even a gamble in the underground money exchange, and countless people were betting to see how many weeks or even days the Ishida family could survive after offending the Nation of Fire. But for the people at the bottom, they think that the Ishida family may really overturn the notice of the 5 powers. After all, they all know that the Ishida family is blessed by a god, and that is a god, naturally a supreme, omniscient, and omnipotent existence. Ordinary people don't think that a family blessed by God will lose to the Land of Fire at this time. The daimyo of the country of soup received the minister of the country of soup who came back from Hangzhou Island. You mean, Ishida's family has Kage-level and hundreds of Jōnin? Listening to the words of the minister of his own country, Tangjigwa daimyo looked at the minister as if he was looking at a fool. Are you kidding me? If Ishida's family really has so many masters, they won't be able to sit still. After a pause, Tangjigwa daimyo looked at his minister suspiciously and said, That's right, they really can't sit still. They have already declared war on the Land of Fire in front of the princes and nobles of all countries. Tangjigwa's minister nodded and said helplessly. Originally, he also thought that Patriarch Ishida was crazy, but he seemed to have that background. He was there when he was in the gym, and the head of the Ishida clan, Ishida Sorikari, suppressed Hokage so much that he couldn't make a sound, which was really terrifying. Although it was suspected of holding the nobles of the world as a threat at the time, the swordmaster no less than Kage-level and dozens of ninjas did appear. Even Hokage didn't dare to act rashly, which just showed that those ninjas had good strength. Even if Hokage had the confidence to kill those ninjas, he didn't have the confidence to save the lives of the nobles around him. Especially recalling the scene when 3rd Hokage had no choice but to compromise. If he didn't really have that confidence, then how could Patriarch Ishida refute the face of the Nation of Fire in such a way? However, he could also understand that, according to what 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen said at the time, although he did not explicitly say what to do with the Ishida family, the request was obviously to drive the Ishida family into an abyss. Listening to his minister's answer, Tianming of the Tang dynasty pursed his lips. Advertisement. Since the last ninja war in various countries, the major countries have begun to clean up the ninja families in the surrounding small countries. I have long thought that there might be ninja families united to resist and fight for the chance of survival. I didn't expect that it would be the Ishida family who directly tough attitude. Tang Jikuin Daimyo paused for a moment and finally spoke out. Although he also didn't want to believe that the Ishida family really had the ability to challenge the Land of Fire. But they have indeed declared war on the Nation of Fire. Regardless of whether it is really capable or just to resolve the crisis, this time the Ishida family has been completely reduced to the Land of Fire, and even the opposite of the 5 great nations. Hearing this, the minister of the Tang dynasty finally knew why the Ishida family and the Fire Congress were so hostile. His Royal Highness, what shall we do next? Minister Tang Jigua hesitated and asked aloud. What should we do? What can we do? If you really follow what you said, neither Ishida's family nor the Land of Fire is something we can offend. Whoever hits here first, we will obey. The Tang dynasty daimyo smiled wryly. All the ninja families in the Tang dynasty had been wiped out. Facing the Ishida family and Konoha's ninjas, as a daimyo of a country, he didn't even have the ability to protect himself. Able to wait and see how things change. Things like Yunokuni happened in almost every nearby small country daimyo. There are many people like Yunokuni daimyo, waiting for the victor to come. And some people, such as the vassal states of the Fire Nation like the Taki Nation, and those countries that are far away from the Taki Nation, firmly believe that the Nation of Fire will win, and even threaten that once the Ishida family dares to appear in their own territory, they will be hunted down by the whole country. Compared with the sinking and rapid stance of those small countries, the 5 great nations side is surprisingly calm, as if nothing happened. Even, Watufeng is still sending more ninjas to the Land of Rain, as if they don't care about Ishida's family at all. The Land of Fire is not in a hurry, but the Ishida family is also not in a hurry. Even the sidelines are only symbolically stationed with some sentries, and there is no intention of going to war across the country. No Zhao, this made many people puzzled. In fact, the ninjas and samurai of Ishida's family stay in the crazy training by Ishida Xinkai through the next Marine's 6 styles of Kanna. Even Patriarch Ishida and several Jōnin are no exception. As for Ishida Xinkai, she is currently selecting members of the clan who are suitable for granting copying eyes. The grant of copying eyes requires that the age of the clansmen should not exceed 6 years old, and Ishida Xinkai had to make a difficult decision. There is only one suitable offspring before him at this moment, and it's a girl. Girls are just girls. At worst, I will recruit a son-in-law for the family in the future, so that I don't have to worry about bleeding. Looking at the pink and tender girl in front of her who was led by her servant and watching her brothers and sisters practice ninjutsu curiously with her fingers in her mouth, Ishida Xinkai sighed and said, 103. Looking at her little great-great-granddaughter who was even a little ignorant in front of her, Ishida Xinkai had a loving smile on her face. After all, this is the blood that he has passed down. Even if it is a female doll, Ishida Xinkai has the confidence to train her to become a top ninja powerhouse. Little girl, I remember that when you were born, you were hugged and shown to me. I am willing to let my ancestors see your information panel first. Ishida Xinkai looked at the little girl and said cheerfully. Name, Ishida Mina. Identity, branch house tribe, Ishida family, gender, female age, 4 years old. Blood successor boundary. Ice escape amount of chakra, 3, toddlers, belief status. Worship, 0.3 incense value is fixed every day. Life status, healthy, ignorant skills. Jōnin's capital, huh? Ice escape blood successor boundary? Ishida Xinkai was taken aback by looking at the blood succession boundary in Ishida Maya's information column. Ishida Mimi is only 5 years old, and she is not the grandson of Ishida Xinkai, but the daughter of Ishida Shinkai's granddaughter Ishida Zygote. The little girl's father was met by Ishida Zygote when he was traveling abroad, and later married with Ishida Zygote and became the son-in-law of Ishida's family. When the 380 people got married, they were brought into the ancestral hall and shown to Ishida Xinkai. Ishida Xinkai remembered that it was an elegant young man named Bai Ling. However, a few months ago, when Ishida's empty hunting was attacked and Ishida's family was in distress, Xiaomaya's father led the servants of Ishida's family to seek asylum for Ishida's family. There may have been an accident. Little girl, our Ishida family owes your family too much. Ishida Sorikari looked at Mia, who still didn't quite understand why she hadn't seen her father for a long time. Ishida Xinkai murmured. Ishida Xinkai has old eyes and is very accurate at seeing people. She knows that Bai Ling can't run away. Now that she saw the blood inheritance boundary on the little girl's body, Ishida Xinkai knew that Bai Ling had indeed gone to rescue the soldiers. As for why you haven't come back until now, why Ishida Xinkai didn't want to think about it for now. At this moment, Xiao Maya had already started to feel drowsy and was taken back to the room by the servant to sleep while yawning. Ishida Xinkai thought for a while and didn't rush into the little girl's dream, but looked at Xiao Maya's qualifications. System, what is the top qualification that I can improve my clansmen at present? Ishida Xinkai asked the system in his heart. Currently, the ancestors can say that the highest aptitude that the tribe can upgrade to is the highest aptitude in the world. 6 paths. Each requires 200 points of divine power. The system responded quickly. Is the capital of 6 paths already the highest? Ishida Xinkai frowned, obviously not very satisfied. Advertisement: if anyone knew that Ishida Xinkai was actually despising the 6 paths right now, he might not be able to resist coming over and tearing down his shrine. Then 6 path. Nodding, Ishida Xinkai said lightly, and at the same time, Ishida Xinkai continued to browse the products of Zolling Mall. In the past few days, just in time for most of the Ishida family to refresh their incense rituals, even Kana directly contributed 10,000 points of incense, which made Ishida Xinkai's current divine power break through to more than 1,000 points again, reaching 100,000 points. 100 and 100 points. Soon, Ishida Xinkai set his sights on the status of the family. Why haven't I seen this before? Ishida Xinkai asked in surprise. In his field of vision, there were 2 never-before-seen states. Level 1 Ninja. Increase the chakra extraction speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Consumption of divine power, 100 points. Permanently valid. Earth-level ninja will be activated after purchase. Level 1 Martial Arts. Increase the martial arts training speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Consumption of divine power, 100 points. It is permanently valid. After purchase, the second level of martial arts will be opened. As the number of ancestral shrines increases, the scope of the domain increases, and the strength of the family increases, the ancestral mall will be refreshed in real time. Please pay attention to the ancestral spirits. Sure enough, if Ishida Xinkai doesn't ask, the system generally won't take the initiative to talk too much. Just think about it once. If it doesn't happen to see something that has not been seen before, Ishida Xinkai might not know that the things in Zolling Mall will increase. This damn thing. Increase the chakra extraction speed of the whole family, and it's still 100%? You can't be smarter. Help me think about how to help the family improve its strength as soon as possible and dominate the entire ninja world? You wait for me to discover such a good thing? Rolling his eyes, Ishida Xinkai said with some dissatisfaction. He wished the system could do everything for him. No, he might just conquer the entire ninja world and give it to him for nothing. But Ishida Xinkai knew that this was impossible, and he would never experience it in his life, so he could only count on his idiot grandson to play Ninja World for him. Buy level 1 ninjutsu and level 1 martial arts. Dissatisfaction is dissatisfaction. Things still have to be bought. Minus 100 divine power, minus 100 ding. Consume 100 points of spiritual power to increase the chakra extraction speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Ding. Consume 100 points of spiritual power to increase the martial arts training speed of the whole clan by plus 100%. Ding. Unlock level 2 ninja. Ding. Unlock level 2 martial arts. Level 2 ninja. Increase the chakra extraction speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Consumption of divine power, 500 points. It is permanently valid, and after purchase, the third level ninjutsu will be activated. Level 2 martial arts. Increase the martial arts training speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Consumption of divine power, 500 points. It is permanently valid, and after purchase, the third level martial arts will be opened. Damn it, the power of the gods is not enough. Looking at the prices of level 2 ninjutsu and level 2 martial arts, Ishida Xinkai rolled his eyes directly. He already regretted that he had consumed all his divine power a few days ago because he had obtained a copy eye. He never expected that the special mother of the system would update the Zolling Mall. Buy, level 2 ninja, pouted. Ishida Xinkai recovered and could only choose one to buy first. Spirit power, minus 500. Ding. Consume 500 points of divine power to increase the chakra extraction speed of the whole family by plus 100%. Ding. Unlock level 3 ninja. At the same time, everyone in Ishida's family was startled by the sudden increase in chakras. Speed. 104. The clansmen or servants of the Ishida family all stared wide-eyed, looking around in astonishment but with a hint of bewilderment. The most obvious is the group of young Ishidas who are training in the backyard. Those children not only included the blood of Ishida Xinkai, but also the children of servants. They are all managed and taught by the more patient ninjas selected by the Ishida family. At this time, whether they are members of the Ishida family or the children of servants, they all feel that their chakra cultivation speed is much faster than before, but they are not sure how much. What's going on? How did you all stop? The few servants who were in charge of guarding the children's training saw that everyone had stopped, and they were suddenly a little surprised and cried out in surprise. After all, it would be fine if one or two were slacking off, but all of a sudden, so many children stopped, which made the guardian servants nervous. The movement here attracted Ishida Yuto, who was in charge of the supervision, to come. After all, these are the future generation of Ishida's family, so there must be no mistakes. You, don't you? A younger junior from the Ishida family who was about 8 or 9 years old looked on in surprise. The others asked. The other children seemed to know what the little brother asked, and they all nodded with a little bit of bewilderment. Seeing the strange behavior of these children one by one, Ishida Yuto also frowned. Tai, what's the matter with you? Ishida Yongdu frowned and asked in a deep voice. He felt that these children encountered some doubts at the same time. Teacher, we feel that the speed of chakra cultivation and extraction is much faster than before. The junior of the Ishida family, who was called Tai, watched Ishida bravely cross over, gave him a look of admiration, and then gave a sermon. Huh. Listening to Ishida Taichi's words, several instructors looked at each other in surprise. All speeded up? Afterwards, several instructors showed some horror. Although it is a good thing that Chakra's cultivation speed is accelerated, this sudden change made these servants of the Ishida family a little terrified. These are the future of the Ishida family. What's wrong? I'm afraid Ishida's family will be ruined. One of the servants closed his eyes and began to try to lift chakra, and the next moment, the servant opened his eyes instantly, and his lips began to turn white and tremble. Seeing this, the other instructors also began to try to refine chakra, but then, they opened their eyes, and everyone's eyes showed a horrified expression. Even Ishida Yuto took a short breath and scanned the other servants like, fire, you guys. What did you find? Ishida Yongdu didn't speak directly, but looked at several people and asked. The chakra extraction speed is at least doubled. No, it is very likely that it has reached 3 times the previous speed. Hurry up, go and inform the owner. The servant's excited body began to tremble, and he said excitedly to Ishida Yuto. Several instructors next to him did not speak, but nodded accordingly. At the same time, they were all a little puzzled. The chakra extraction speed was twice as fast as before for no reason. How is this possible? Everyone continues to train. I will notify the patriarch. Ishida Yuto took a deep breath and said loudly to everyone. No need. I'm already here. As soon as Ishida Yongdu finished speaking, Ishida Sokari's voice sounded in the distance. Advertisement. I saw Ishida Sora came to the backyard with a group of servants. It seems that the chakra extraction speed on your side has also been accelerated. Ishida Sorakari looked calm, and Tian Yongdu could see the excitement in the patriarch's eyes. Apparently, Ishida Sakari had already received the report from other servants who discovered the abnormality in advance. That's why I came here in such a hurry to see if the younger generation has been affected. Master Patriarch, is it true that the whole clan is? That's right. Before Ishida Yudu finished his question, Ishida Sorakari nodded in response. He has sent someone to count, and all the servants of the Ishida family in the Ishida family have all accelerated the extraction of chakra. Report. Report to Patriarch. Just now, the speed of all our martial arts practice has suddenly increased, and Lord Kanwu admitted that the martial arts feelings are twice as strong as before. 0. Ask for flowers? At this moment, a samurai rushed over and said to Ishida Sorakari with an excited expression. If there is such an improvement in the usual way, there is no need to alarm the patriarch at all, but in an instant, more than a dozen samurai have made breakthroughs in kendo. The sudden change made everyone excited, and at the same time a little uneasy. They didn't know why such a change happened. Even the speed of martial arts training has suddenly increased? Ishida Sora's eyes twitched. If the speed of chakra refining is related to physique, blood, and environment, then the improvement of martial arts is a bit unimaginable. 0. Report to the Patriarch. The servants of Sinong City have something to ask to see the Patriarch. At the same time, a guard at the gate rushed in to report. Listening to the guard's report, everyone present looked down. Could it be? Ishida Sora's heart skipped a beat. Let someone come in. Ishida Sorakari had some guesses in his mind, and immediately said to the guards, Not long after, a ninja who was assigned to guard Kitano Taro in Sinong City was brought in. Report to Patriarch, all the Ishida families in Sinong City have suddenly improved several times in their cultivation of servants. As soon as the servant came in, he said nervously, after all, this kind of thing has never been heard before, and people are always afraid of unknown things. Even Sinong City, everyone was stunned for a moment, and then they were suddenly startled. Everyone quickly turned around and looked at the shrine in the distance. Master Ancestor bless you. Everyone should burn incense and bathe immediately, and we must pay homage to our ancestors. Seeing this, the idiot also knew what happened. Ishida Sorikari raised his arms immediately, and everyone dispersed quickly. And he himself began to communicate with his ancestors in his heart, and soon got affirmative recovery. That is, all Ishida family members and servants have doubled the chakra extraction speed, and even can continue to upgrade the knife in the future. 105. Hearing the prayer in Ishida Sorikari's heart, Ishida Xinkai also knew how much sensation he had just caused to the family. But after explaining a few words casually, Ishida Xinkai once again set his eyes on the little girl who was sleeping soundly in front of him. As for the level 3 ninja, Ishida Xinkai didn't even look at the information and price, because he knew he couldn't afford it. System, are you sure that Maya, who has an ice shield, can also be given copy eyes, right? Ishida Xinkai asked the system again in his heart. No matter how many blood succession boundaries the target has, the ancestor spirit can give the blood succession boundaries to the tribe for free for the first time. The system also gave an answer immediately. Like a dream, target, Mia Ishida. With a low murmur, it was the same as when I entered Ishida Sora's 287 dream, and the surrounding scenes changed instantly. Rumming is different from Ruhuan. Ruhuan is directly in the shrine. It is said that the people in the shrine are directly drawn into the illusion created by the ancestors themselves. Without Ishida Xinkai canceling it, others cannot leave the illusion. And rumming means that the ancestor spirit enters other people's dreams. After being stimulated, the dream will collapse, and the dreamer will also be awakened. Entered the little girl's dream. Ishida Xinkai found that the little girl's real thoughts were not as optimistic as she appeared on the surface. The little girl, Ishida Maya, was playing alone, while two people were looking towards her in the distance. One of them is the zygote of the little girl's mother, Ishida, and the other person is the little girl's father, Bai Ling, who often wears a white hunting suit. It's just that although the two of them smiled and looked at this side, they didn't move all the time, as if they were a frozen landscape painting. Well, Ishida Xinkai sighed. Bai Ling's departure and never coming back will deal a big blow to Ishida Zygote, who devotes almost all her heart and soul to family affairs, and takes little care of Ishida Maya. Although the little girl has so many playmates, she still hopes to see my parents can be by my side. Ishida Xinkai has a complicated mood. When she was alive, she wanted to let her family live a carefree life, but she didn't expect this to be the final result. Shaking his head, Ishida Xinkai didn't continue to think too much, but gently came to the little girl. Now the little girl already possesses the capital of 6 paths, and even her mind is more mature, but she is still a child. Seeing the appearance of Ishida Xinkai, the little girl was a little curious, feeling a little familiar. Xiao Maya, I am your great-grandfather. Looking at Ishida Maya, Ishida Xinkai really couldn't put on a majestic posture, and said to the little girl with a smile, Grandfather Taizu? Hearing Ishida Shinkai's words, Ishida Maya was taken aback for a moment, and then thought about it. Oh, I remembered. You're the grandpa who can't smile hanging on the wall. After a pause, the little girl's eyes suddenly lit up. She pointed at Ishida Xinkai and said happily, as if she was very proud of being able to think of Ishida Xinkai. Hanging on the wall, advertisement. The corner of Ishida Shinkai's mouth twitched, but after thinking about it carefully, it seemed that he had indeed been hung on the wall. It is indeed so. That's right. I am your Taizu Dadi who has already hung on the wall. Nodding his head, Ishida Xinkai said with a smile, childish words are not taboo, let alone a girl of his own blood, and his Ishida family has dragged their family down. Hey, Grandpa Taizu, did you come to see Mom and Dad? I'll tell them. They will be very happy knowing that Grandpa will laugh. Looking at Ishida Xinkai, the little girl couldn't understand whether it was life or death. She just smiled and said to Ishida Xinkai, No, Grandpa is not looking for them. Grandpa is here to look for Xiao Maya. Ishida Xinkai shook his head, looked at Ishida Maya kindly and said. At this time Ishida Maya felt more and more that he was the legendary cheat grandfather. Cultivating a peerless young genius for the family, I don't know if people in the ninja world will be scared to death. Ishida Xinkai suddenly thought with some evil taste. Although the little girl is only 4 years old, Ishida Xinkai is confident that he can also create a top-notch powerhouse for him. How old is Kage level or 6 paths? Thinking of this, Ishida Xinkai couldn't help shivering. But if someone knows what Ishida Xinkai is thinking at this time and sees the smile on his face now, he must know that he has this idea. Looking for Maya? The little girl widened her watery eyes, curiously looking at the old man who had never played with her before. Look at this. Ishida Xinkai smiled, and a pair of replica eyes with a pentagram pattern appeared in his hand. It's so beautiful. Ishida Maya was immediately attracted by the copy eyes in Ishida Shinkai's hand, and exclaimed in surprise. Does Xiaomei want her eyes to be like this? Ishida Xinkai asked with a smile, as if she was a strange old man who was tempting children. I want to. Maya nodded excitedly without hesitation, looking at the bead with longing eyes. Grandpa can make such eyes for Maya, but Maya must remember that these eyes are very powerful, and Maya needs to master them slowly to protect her family and her parents. Ishida Xinkai looked at Maya and said, her tone became serious. I don't know if she talked about her parents, or was influenced by Ishida Shinkai's tone. Xiao Maya also became serious. Well, Maya will definitely protect the family like Grandpa, Uncle, and 3.3's father. 11 as Maya spoke, she couldn't help clenching her pink fists, and said to Ishida Xinkai seriously. Ishida Maya, who has the capital of 6 paths, has extraordinary comprehension and learning ability, and quickly understood the meaning of Ishida Shinkai's words. Okay, remember your words. As long as you can become stronger and make your family stronger, your clan members and parents will be protected, and Grandpa will make you stronger than your father, grandfather, and uncles. Ishida Xinkai nodded and said seriously, given, Shueji boundary, re-examination I. To the clansman Mia Futa. Target clan. Ishida Maya. Use, experience scroll *10, bind, ancestral cage. 106. Because the chakra extraction speed of everyone in the family was suddenly doubled. Ishida Sorikari also knew that everything was done by his ancestors, so of course he would not let go of such a good opportunity to stabilize people's hearts, especially after confirming from Shenwu that even his martial arts comprehension had been doubled. He had even more bold ideas. Through the feedback from Sinong City, he already knew that the cultivation speed of all the servants in the records compiled by Ishida's family has been significantly improved. He guessed that it might be the ancestors' intention. Even, just now, after Ishida Konkari recruited a samurai on the spot as a servant of Ishida's family, the samurai who couldn't even extract chakra could actually feel the enhancement of chakra. Could it be that the ancestors can make all the servants of the Ishida family speed up their cultivation? Thinking of this, Ishida Sorikari's breath became short of breath. Brat, did you just find out now? Ishida Xinkai sensed what 01 Ishida Sorikari was thinking at this time, and couldn't help laughing and cursing. But he has more important things to do at this time, and that is to act as a grandfather. He wants to personally guide Ishida Mina, who not only has the ability to copy eyes, but also has reached 90 chakra. The ability of the copy eye is to be able to completely copy and release the ninjutsu that others have released or half-released. And as long as it is not a bloodline like Sharingan or Baiyin, it can be copied and released in a simulated manner. However, this is only the basic ability of copying eyes, and what Ishida Xinkai really cares about is analysis. The ability user of the copy eye can see through the essence of the attack and fundamentally directly analyze all the chakra attacks of the opponent with the pupil technique. Although it is impossible to copy all ninjutsu, as long as one can see through the essence and analyze it, even the tailed beast bomb can be analyzed and cracked in an instant. At this time, Ishida Maya has such a terrifying copy eye, and even chakra has been upgraded to 9 times the level of ordinary Jōnin. These have consumed a full 300 points of Ishida Shinkai's divine power to improve to such a level. Chakra can not only determine the release power of this ninjutsu, but also can use it multiple times, and can also guarantee the safety of Ishida Mia to a large extent. The huge chakra is like magic power, and it can tell that Maya's body is also strengthened. Although it will not break steel and iron, it can resist ordinary heavy blows, which is no problem lower than ordinary diseases. After all, Ishida Xinkai doesn't want the genius of the 6 paths he wants to build to catch a cold and die. The current Ishida Mimi can be said to be the strongest 4-year-old genius in the history of the ninja world. But Ishida Xinkai will not be satisfied. He not only wants to turn this little girl into a genius, he also wants to make the whole ninja world tremble for his Ishida family. But before that, Ishida Xinkai caught a loophole that was previously a system reply. System: can one clansman fuse many blood successor boundaries? Ishida Xinkai didn't beat around the bush either, and directly raised questions about the system in her heart. If he can really endow the tribe with multiple blood-inheriting boundaries, then even the shortcomings of the copying eyes that cannot copy the bloodline blood-inheriting boundaries and the pupil technique can be ignored. Multiple blood successor boundaries can be integrated, and each time the number of blood successor boundaries given by the ancestor spirit to the same clansman increases, it will consume a lot of divine power. A lot of divine power? How much is that? Hearing the system's answer, Ishida Xinkai immediately became excited, and at the same time asked expectantly, advertisement as long as it can be integrated. It means that there is still the possibility of improvement and enhancement, and even as long as more abilities are combined with the blood succession limit, he can create an existence beyond the Tao level. Thinking of this, Ishida Xinkai became excited. Ishida Maya, who was watching beside her, was full of curiosity, not understanding why the grandpa in front of her suddenly twitched. The ancestral spirit does not consume the power of the gods for the first fusion of the blood succession boundary of the same clansman. The second time consumes 1,000 points of divine power. Consume 10,000 divine power for the third time. For the fourth time and after that, you need to consume 10,000 points of divine power each time. As soon as Ishida Xinkai finished speaking, the system quickly gave out a series of reminders. The one followed by a series of zeros made Ishida Xinkai dazzled. Grass, pretend I didn't ask. Ishida Xinkai rolled his eyes, and immediately didn't want to look at the required divine power. As for the existence that used a batch of blood successors to create an existence that surpassed the 6 paths level, Ishida Xinkai temporarily threw it into the weather. Although a little unwilling, it can only be like this. After all, my current economic conditions do not allow me to wait until when I can conquer a few more countries, or maybe 2 or 3. It's that luxurious. Grandpa, are you okay? Here, Ishida Maya couldn't help but yelled out, which made Ishida Xinkai react. He, 4-year-old genius. If it wasn't for the lack of spiritual power, the ancestor would have fused all the blood inheritance boundaries for you. Ishida Shinkai's eyes fell on Ishida Maya again, with a smile all over her face, as if she already possessed millions of divine powers. At the same time, Ishida Zygote entered the room and woke up Mimi. Ishida Maya's dream was instantly shattered, and Ishida Xinkai was also forcibly withdrawn from the dream. Ishida Zygote came back from Sinong City. Originally, she was still checking the accounts of Sinong City, but when she heard that there was a change in the family, she rushed back in a panic. Bloodshot, a kind of indescribable fatigue. Maya, wake up. Grandpa will call all the Ishida family to pay homage to the ancestors, and Maya will go too. Ishida Zygote patted Maya's chest, and her gentle voice reached Maya's ears. Mom, you're back. Hearing the familiar voice, Maya opened her eyes in a daze, and when she saw Ishida Zygote, she immediately shouted. However, Ishida Zygote's whole body suddenly tensed up. She saw the blood-colored pentagonal magic circle in Maya's eyes, and she was startled. Maya, what's wrong with your eyes? Ishida Zygote asked nervously. Eyes? Xiao Maya was taken aback for a moment, and quickly got up to look in the mirror, and then her face was full of joy. Mom, what the old man hanging on the wall said is true. After seeing her eyes, Maya immediately said happily to Ishida Zygote, Grandpa hanging on the wall? Ishida Zygote was taken aback for a moment, and suddenly his eyes widened, as if thinking of something. Is it the one on the wall of the ancestral hall? Ishida Zygote looked at her little daughter nervously and asked. Listening to Ishida Zygote's question, Ishida Mina nodded immediately. That's right. These eyes were given to Maya by Grandpa Taizu, who hung on the wall, saying that Maya is even more powerful than Grandpa now. 107. Xiao Maya doesn't know much, but she often sees the portrait of Ishida Xinkai hanging on the walls of shrines and ancestral halls, so she can only describe it like this. However, this did not affect Ishida Zygote's understanding of Zyamiya's meaning. It's the ancestor, Ishida Zygote said with a solemn expression, and then when Ishida Zygote looked into Maya's eyes again, he relaxed a lot compared to before. If the eyes were really given by the ancestors, Ishida Zygote would have nothing to worry about. He knew that his father's current head of the Ishida family had obtained the Sharingan bestowed by the ancestors. In her opinion, Xiao Maya might have obtained the pupil technique similar to the Sharingan. It's really a source of blessing that you were selected by the ancestors, but the ancestors said so. I'm afraid you still can't grasp that power. Let's go. Maya and her mother go to find Grandpa. Is it okay? Ishida Zygote swept away the exhaustion before and said to Xiao Maya with an excited face. For Ishida Xinkai, she is also in a state of prostration, so she has no doubts about her ancestors. But what Ishida Xinkai said to Ishida Maya made her have to be cautious. Although she felt a little unbelievable to Ishida Konkari, whose strength Maya had already surpassed at this time, she knew that Maya might become the leader of the next generation, and her ancestors must have poured a lot of effort into it, so she had to tell Ishida Sorikari about this. Ishida Zygote rushed into the ancestral hall without having time to change clothes with her young daughter in her arms. At this time, many servants of the Ishida family had gathered inside and outside the shrine. Even the gray-headed new generation who were originally trained have already changed their clothes and combed them neatly and decently. And Ishida Zygote didn't have time to comb her hair and appeared in the crowd with a flustered appearance, which seemed a little out of place. But at this time, Ishida Zygote didn't care about these things and went directly into the ancestral hall and came to Ishida Sorikari with Meiya in his arms. Huh? Seeing the flustered appearance of Ishida Zygoko, Ishida Sorikari frowned and was about to preach, but was suddenly attracted by Ishida Miya's eyes. Hey, what's wrong with Maya? Although Ishida Sorikari is only in his 40s, the attributes of intergenerational relatives have not faded. And Ishida Maya is the smallest one besides the two side branches that are still waiting to be fed. Seeing Ishida Mime's appearance, Ishida Sakari was also extremely nervous. Maya, Grandpa High Speed, how did your eyes become like this? Ishida Zygote didn't say it herself, but whispered to her daughter. Everyone immediately said that the woodwind probably belonged to Ishida Maya. Although they had roughly guessed something, everyone was still staring at her closely, wanting to confirm the same. Advertisement. It was the first time for Xiao Maya to be stared at by so many people, and she was a little scared. But after seeing everyone trying their best to smile, they giggled again. Grandpa, you are so interesting. Maya's eyes were given by that grandpa. Maya laughed for a while, then pointed to the portrait of Ishida Xinkai on the front wall in Ishida Zygote's arms, and said with a smile. He didn't know what it meant when he saw the person in the portrait, but he just thought that his eyes were so interesting now. It seemed that because of his eyes, many people cared about him. That grandpa? Everyone followed the direction Maya pointed, and their eyes fell on the portrait on the wall, and then quickly looked away. Those who don't know have no fear. Xiao Maya doesn't understand anything, and she is not afraid of making Ishida Xinkai unhappy, but they are different. The heroic spirit of the ancestors blessed the Ishida family. In order to express their respect to the ancestors, the descendants dare not look directly at them rashly, so everyone just glanced subconsciously and then quickly looked away. These guys, how do you feel like I'm going to eat them? Ishida Xinkai didn't have so many rules when he was alive. He didn't expect them to be so awed by him now. Xiao Maya, tell Grandpa, did you really see the old man above? Did he say anything to you? Ishida Sorikari took a deep breath and excitedly asked Xiao Mimi. Although his mind was much calmer than before, Ishida Sorikari couldn't help being a little excited when he heard the news about his ancestors. The others didn't speak, but they all looked over excitedly. They don't know the criteria for the Ishida family's ancestors to select people to bestow talents, but they know that once a person is favored by the ancestors, he can definitely become the mainstay of the Ishida family. Whether it's Ishida Kongsari's Sharingan, Ishida Meimang's Wood Style, Ishida Yudo's Line Dunyi, or Ishida Datong's Zanpakuto Senbon Zakura, in the 6 styles taught by the bald monk who finally came to Ishida's house, each one is enough. It caused quite a stir in the ninja world. So even though they don't know about Xiao Maya's abilities yet, Xiao Maya's ability to gain the attention of their ancestors at such a young age is enough for them to re-quantify Xiao Maya's identity. Even, Ishida Sorikari has considered whether to wait until Xiao Mimi becomes an adult and let her be the head of Ishida's family. The grandpa said a lot. He said to give me strength, let Maya protect the family, as well as parents. Grandpa, let me tell you, the grandpa also said that Maya is even stronger than you now, and Li Hao. And he also said that you are a brat, only to discover his ability to protect the whole family. As soon as Xiao Maya heard it, she immediately said excitedly to Ishida Sora, completely oblivious to the sudden change in the faces of everyone after listening. Better than me? 4-year-old Penumbra? Are you kidding me? Ishida Sorikari stared at Maya in disbelief. He wouldn't doubt what Ishida Xinkai said, but he wondered if Xiao Maya remembered it wrong. His current ability has surpassed most of the Jōnin and even the elite Jōnin of the 5 great nations. The 4-year-old girl in front of him is actually stronger than himself? Are you kidding? You guys are too weak. Ishida Xinkai next to him listened to Ishida Sora's words, blew his beard and stared angrily, and murmured disdainfully on the divine case. But because he didn't come, no one could hear his words. 108. Ishida Sorikari's expression was a bit complicated. Hearing the news that Ishida Maya, who was only 4 years old, was stronger than himself, he had the feeling that he had lived his whole life on a dog. Not only him, but also Ishida Maemong and Ishida's friends. All of them are incredible. As for Ishida Yudo and Ishida Dadong, they are not from the same family after all, and they are responsible for bringing the servants of Ishida's family to visit the shrine. Let's pay homage to the ancestors first, and see what to do after the end. Ishida Sorikari thought for a while, knowing that the worship of the ancestors could not be affected, so he said aloud. There was no objection from the crowd, so they followed suit. On the contrary, a group of children kept their eyes on Xiao Maya, winking, and the little girls who watched were always cheerful, not affected by the troubles of the adults at all. Soon, the sacrificial activities began under the leadership of the senior members of Ishida's family. And the servants of the Ishida family all know that the accelerated speed of cultivation is the blessing of the ancestors of the Ishida family. 767. Countless people began to worship sincerely. Having personally experienced the magic of the ancestors, the minister's belief in Ishida Xinkai has become more and more stable. And the samurai of the Zawutang are now being recruited to become the servants of the Ishida family. After those samurai discovered that their martial arts awareness has been greatly enhanced, they think of the legend of the ancestors of the Ishida family and become more sincere, reached the level of fanatical worship. And in Ishida Shinkai's belief panel, the fanatical ninjutsu faintly has a tendency to break through to 4 digits. Sure enough, the more unbelievable the power displayed by the Ishida family, the deeper the seeds can be planted in people's hearts. Ishida Xinkai looked at the ever-increasing number of fanatical worshippers, said Yo-Yo. Although the number of worshippers and superficial believers has not increased much at present, those believers are constantly moving towards a more stable level of belief. So Buyu Xinkai was not in a hurry. Ishida Xinkai believes that as long as the Ishida family can show the power to counter the Fire Nation, then the faith of the people in the Tian Nation and the Iron Nation will be strengthened. At the end of the sacrificial activity, Ishida Xinkai once again gained a large amount of incense points, which made Ishida Xinkai back a mouthful of blood, but it was still far from the 500 points of divine power needed to redeem Level 2 martial arts. So Ishida Xinkai it can only be kept temporarily for a rainy day. After the sacrificial activities, Ishida Sakari asked Ishida's friends to take all the juniors out, and at the same time asked Ishida Maemong to call Dadong and Yuto into the shrine. But I haven't waited for Ishida Sorikari to say anything. Here, Kana came to the door on his own initiative. When Ishida Sorikari asked Ishida Yuto to cross them just now, Ishida Xinkai already knew that he wanted to arrange Ishida Yuto or Ishida Dadong to teach them to develop Xiaomei's ability, but Ishida Xinkai is very clear that he intends to teach Xiao Maya himself, and Maya already has the chakra that is an ordinary Jōnin now, and Xiaomei who can rely on the copy eye to copy and analyze all non-bloodline blood succession boundaries does not need to practice at all ninjutsu. What she needs more is the ability to save her life. The head of the Ishida family, just now, the general of the gods, told the servant to bring Miss Maya with him, and the servant will teach the 6 styles in person. As soon as Shunwu entered the door, he respectfully saluted everyone, and then spoke in a leisurely manner. Advertisement at this time, Kana has already worshipped Ishida Xinkai as a god. In his eyes, Ishida Xinkai is a god, an existence, a bath, comparable to a Buddha. So he naturally didn't dare to neglect Ishida Shinkai's orders. An order from the ancestors? Hearing Shunwu's words, everyone was shocked. They still don't know what Maya's ability is. Although they really want to know now, they absolutely dare not disobey the order of their ancestors. Report to the patriarch. There is someone outside who claims to have been to Ishida's house and asks to see the patriarch. At this moment, a voice of reporting from outside came in. Ishida Dadong next to him frowned, and Senbenzakura, who was clenched tightly, uttered a soft cry, and Ryatsu quickly swept in front of Ishida's mansion. Master Patriarch, he was the one who was with Third Raikage at that time. Ishida Dadong felt the spirit of practice in front of the mansion and returned to Buko Kongsho. Are you from Cloud Shinobi Village? Ishida Sorikari murmured, nodded, and looked at Kanna. Okay, please trouble Master Kanmu. There may be someone in Maya who has more power than you and me. So Master Kanmu, please be very careful. Ishida Sorikari didn't dare to disobey Ishida Shinkai's order, so he naturally nodded in agreement, But remembering what Maya said before, he reminded Kana seriously. After all, what Xiao Maya said in person was from the ancestors. Although I have some doubts whether the little girl remembered it wrong, but in case she remembers it correctly, he still needs to remind Shinwu. However, he didn't say that it was Ishida Xinkai's speech, and Kana just thought that Xiao Maya was just very strong in the blood succession limit, so he didn't take it too seriously. My servant knows. Please rest assured, Master Patriarch. Kana nodded, and then looked at Xiao Maya with gentle eyes. After all, he is the blood of Lord Shun, so he dare not neglect. Ishida Sorikari nodded, then took Ishida Dadong and left towards the door. However, Maya is a little nervous about facing Kana at this time. After all, Kana only came here recently. Although she looks kind on the surface, she is still a stranger to her after all. Master Shinwu, Maya is still young. I hope I can enlighten her for one night, and let her practice with you tomorrow. Is that okay? As a member of Ishida's family, Ishida knew that the monk in front of him was a very powerful gymnast, but as a mother, he didn't want to force Maya to follow Kana. Shinwu didn't speak, just nodded slightly, and left the ancestral hall. At the same time, the earthen platform of Cloud Shinobi Village also entered the hall of Ishida's house, and met Ishida Sorikari. 109. This is the second time that Tutai has come to Ishida's house. Compared to the first time I came to Ishida's house, I was full of curiosity. This time the earth platform was extremely calm. Ishida Sakari sat cross-legged on the floor of the hall, with a long table in front of her, on which was placed tea. Ishida Dadong and Ishida Maimong sat kneeling on both sides, and the two of them were silent, and they didn't even look at the earthen platform. After Ishida Dadong came back from Hangzhou Island, he told Ishida Maimong that when Ishida Sakari was about to declare war on the Fire Nation, even Cloud Shinobi Village showed a very unfriendly attitude towards Ishida's family, and he naturally also the people of Cloud Shinobi Village won't take kindly to them. Mr. Tutai, please help yourself. Ishida Sorikari pointed in front of him, inviting him to sit down with a calm face. The earth platform was also polite, and directly knelt and sat down opposite Ishida Kakari. But Tutai didn't speak, just picked up the tea and pursed his lips. And Ishida Sorikari was not in a hurry, as if they were coming to drink tea with each other. The two of them just tasted the tea in their respective forests. Every time the tea for the two of them bottomed out, a servant would pour tea for them immediately. After going back and forth like this for 2 or 3 times, the expression on the earth platform kept changing. Now who in the world does not know that the Land of Fire is already gearing up for the Ishida family, and even other countries are also eyeing the Ishida family? He didn't expect that the Ishida's family could still hold their breath at such a time. In his opinion, Ishida's family should be like ants on a hot pot. He took a deep breath, although he didn't know if Patriarch Ishida was pretending to be calm, but he knew that his words must be carried. Thinking of this, the water glass he just picked up was put down again by the earthen platform. Patriarch Ishida, I didn't expect you to be so calm in times of crisis. Tutai looked at Ishida Sorikari and said with a strange expression, if an ordinary country, or even the rest of the 5 major countries, openly declared war with the Nation of Fire, they would have already tensed up and deployed their troops everywhere, ready to resist the coming stormy attack of the Nation of Fire at any time. But the Ishida family has remained silent until now, as if the so-called declaration of war was just a joke, which really made the countries feel a little bit puzzled. No one can guess what the Ishida family wants to do. No chaos in the face of danger? Ishida's house is not in danger at all. How could it be chaotic? Ishida Sorikari didn't seem to understand Doi's words, and took another sip of the tea in the cup, as if he was simply chatting. Ishida Sora's performance once again caused Tutai to frown. The head of the Ishida family should stop pretending. The Ishida family has declared war on the Nation of Fire, and has already fallen into the trap of the Nation of Fire. Although the Nation of Fire is calm on the surface, ninjas have been secretly assembled advertisement. It won't be long before a large number of ninjas will press into Tanakuni and wipe out Ishida's family. Dodai frowned, reminding Ishida Sorikari. Even he was a little worried for Ishida's family. Patriarch Ishida, don't you know that your momentary anger in Hangzhou Island provoked enemies that shouldn't be provoked for the Ishida family? The platform paused for a moment, then continued to talk to Ishida Sakari, and even kept putting pressure on Ishida Sakari. The enemy you should not provoke is Konoha, right? Ishida Sorikari frowned, looked at the platform with a smile, and asked, who does the head of the Ishida family think? Although the first-generation second Hokage has fallen one after another, the power of Konoha still cannot be underestimated. There are many Chunin families, and the Uchiha family alone cannot be resisted by the Ishida family. Tutai frowned and said seriously, After he and Reikage returned from Hongzhou Island, the more they combined, the more something went wrong. Tiandefu is the most prosperous and heavily guarded city in the center of Hongzhou Island, and there is even a protective barrier outside. It is normal for Ishida's family to be able to enter a Kage-level swordmaster, but it is not uncommon for the Ishida family to get in with dozens of unfamiliar Jōnin. How could it be unnoticed? But that happened to be the case, and even the sudden appearance of dozens of people at the venue was the biggest doubt in itself. You must know that Hokage was there at the time, and the other party was able to hide under Hokage snows, and there were still so many of them. People, if the ninjas of the Ishida family have this ability, they can go and assassinate all the strong men of the 5 major countries. Zero looking for flowers. Therefore, after people from all over the world went back, they thought about it carefully, and suddenly felt that they had been deceived. Guessing that the Ishida family was just using some kind of cover-up to bluff, Third Reikage also relaxed a lot of guard against the Ishida family, and even sent an earthen platform to the Ishida family. Tutai came here to help the Ishida family resolve the crisis, and as a report, it was to make the Ishida family surrender to the Kingdom of Thunder. As long as the Ishida family submits to the Kingdom of Thunder, they will naturally have a way to prevent the Kingdom of Fire from attacking the Ishida family. Today, I am here to negotiate with Patriarch Ishida on behalf of the Kingdom of Thunder. If Patriarch Ishida can lead the Ishida family to serve the Kingdom of Thunder, we can save everyone in the Ishida family. Tutai paused, and directly told Ishida Sorikari the purpose of his visit. Bold. Hearing the words of the earthen platform, Ishida Dadong and Ishida Maimong next to them immediately raised their heads and glared at the earthen platform, especially Ishida Dadong, who almost entered the state of liberation. But although he was not liberated, Ryatsu of Zanpakuto still swept across the heart of the earthen platform. However, the earth platform instantly felt that he was hovering on the verge of death. Taking a deep look at Ishida Dadong, a trace of fear flashed in Tutai's eyes, but he didn't back down. The Ishida family is in full swing now, but facing the Nation of Fire is the way to die. At that time, it is not only the Nation of Fire that will have to deal with the Ishida family, other countries will not let go of the opportunity to share a piece of the pie. It is very likely that it will directly face the attack of the 5 major powers. Tutai looked at Ishida Sora, and there was already a hint of threat in his tone. However, such a threat from the Earth platform was exchanged for Ishida Sorikari Asake's smile. The attack of the 5 major powers? If you are not afraid of death, you can go ahead and attack. Ishida Sorikari sneered, and his eyes entered the Mangekyo Sharingan state. 110. The moment Ishida Sorikari's eyes changed, Tutai felt something was wrong. Humph, since you say so, I'll take my leave. With a cold snort, Tutai was so angry that he was dying. But he also knew that this was not Cloud Shinobi Village, so he planned to get up and leave. But the next moment, Tutai only felt that his spirit was beginning to be in a trance. Illusion. In an instant, Tu Tian was startled, and Chakra, who wanted to disrupt himself, recovered. However, Ishida Sorikari's illusion didn't last long, and Taiguang gave up. However, when the platform reacted, Ishida Dadong was already standing beside him, and the long knife in Ishida Dadong's hand was already on his neck. For a moment, Tutai's heart sank. Do you dare to do anything to me, 023? With a cold face, Dodai asked Ishida Sorikari in front of him. The body trembled a little. He was ordered by the Third Reikage to save the Ishida family, but he was treated like this by the Ishida family. You said it all. If I don't agree with you, Cloud Shinobi Village will also be our enemy. Then why should I put you back? Ishida Sorikari waved his hand and said lightly. He's not an idiot. If he keeps this guy here as a hostage, maybe he can make Cloud Shinobi Village be afraid. And if he puts it back, Ishida's house will really be besieged from all sides. You. Tutai's expression changed when he heard this, and he wanted to refute, but he also knew that the other party would definitely not let him go easily. Don't you know that you might offend Cloud Shinobi Village by doing this? Tutai took a deep breath and continued to threaten. He was not afraid that Ishida's family would kill him, but worried that being trapped here would affect the village's plan. So he didn't commit suicide, and he can only guess the village's next plan after the results of the first battle between Ishida's family and the Fire Nation come out. Offending Cloud Shinobi Village? You should know better than me. Ishida Sorikari didn't say it clearly, but said something mockingly towards the earthen platform. After that, a few servants came in and stopped the earthen platform. Ishida Maimong personally used wood style to completely seal the earthen platform in the vines to prevent it from using ninjutsu to escape. Afterwards, the upper echelons of Ishida's house were summoned into the hall. Ishida Sorikari told everyone about the warning of the platform. Other countries? Aren't they very difficult to deal with the Nation of Fire? How could they help the Nation of Fire to deal with us? Ishida Yuto was a little puzzled, looking at Ishida Sorikari asked in surprise. On the other hand, Ishida Dadong next to him is from the country of Iron, and his vision is much wider than that of a ninja who bravely crossed a small country like Ishida. Advertisement: everything is based on interests. During the first meeting of the 5 Kages, the peace of the 5 great ninja villages was established, but as far as I know, the so-called peace only lasted more than 10 years. Ishida Dadong explained to everyone aloud. People know about the 5 Kage talks, and they also know that there are frictions among the major powers, but they don't actually understand the real conflict between the 5 great ninja villages. That's right. Ishida Sorikari, the leader, nodded in agreement. When his grandfather was still alive, he had heard his grandfather mention more than once that in the ninja world, it is difficult to have permanent peace, and any country is ready to tear it up at any time. But if there is an existence that wants to destroy and subvert the entire ninja world, they will definitely unite. Now that the rise of the Ishida family has occupied the Iron Kingdom, although it seems that they are only in conflict with the Fire Kingdom, once the Ishida family really fights with Konoha and the Fire Kingdom, if they win it will inevitably arouse the fear of the surrounding ugly thunder countries. And if you lose, if it is just the country of Tion, the other countries will definitely look down on it, but it will be different if you add the country of Iron. As a permanent neutral country, the Kingdom of Iron has almost never been affected by wars. Its strong national strength, if not for the emergence of a sage of swordsmanship in the Ishida family, would make those stubborn warriors confident. I'm afraid it's impossible to take down the Iron Country so easily. After all, it can be called an Iron Country where all the people are soldiers. It is extremely repulsive to ninjas from all over the world. Even if you use force to conquer it, it will only have the opposite effect. Rather than saying that the Iron Country surrendered to the Ishida family, it would be better to say that the warriors of the Iron Country directly believed in the Ishida family's sage of swordsmanship. But no matter what, the surrender of the Iron Kingdom has indeed brought the world's perception of the Ishida family to a new stage. All countries believe that once the sage of the sword is gone, the warriors of the Iron Country will be quickly separated from the control of the Ishida family. And whoever of them can win over that juggernaut will be able to win a country of iron for nothing. Ishida Sorikari's agreement made everyone sink for a while. From their point of view, the Ishida family was not even qualified to connect with the Iron Kingdom. When the Ishida family declared war on the Iron Country, no one was optimistic about it. Now not only the Kingdom of Iron has become a subsidiary country of the Ishida family, but now the Ishida family is blatantly challenging the Kingdom of Fire and Konoha, making them return to the feeling they had when they declared war on the Kingdom of Iron. This time, the Land of Fire is a real colossus. It owns the most fertile land in the world, occupying all the resources of the ninja world, and there are countless big clans among the leaves. There are no less than 10 families of blood successors, and there are also some families with special abilities and secret arts. Can overthrow a small country. Now the Ishida family is no different from the 2.5 against the country of fire. Hehe, even the 5 great nations are going to face each other, and I suddenly have some expectations. Who would have thought that I would have the opportunity to face the 5 great nations when I am middle-aged? At this time, Ishida Yuto smiled and the atmosphere on the field suddenly eased. That's right, if the 5 major countries frighten and persuade them, then our Ishida family will be the real number 1 in the ninja world. Ishida Maemong and Ishida's friends next to him also echoed. Although Ishida Dadong didn't speak, they nodded in agreement with Ishida Yongdu's words. Ishida Sorikari looked at everyone and seemed not to be intimidated by the 5 major powers, and nodded in satisfaction. Newborn calves are not afraid of tigers, but their Ishida family is a giant dragon that is about to wake up under the protection of the ancestors. 111. At this time, the leaves of the country of fire. Sarutobi Hiruzen said that the top leaders of the Uchiha clan were all called together. In front of Sarutobi Hiruzen, there were more than 40 ninjas of the Uchiha clan. At least all of them were of special Jōnin strength. Among them, there were also 11 Jōnin and elite Jōnin, but half of them were wearing blindfolds. Did you attack Ishida's house on Hongzhou Island? Sarutobi Hiruzen has waited for so long, and it can be regarded as waiting for those Uchiha people who went to Hongzhou Island to come back. Everyone in Uchiha didn't speak, and they acquiesced to Sarutobi Hiruzen's inquiry. It would be fine if they succeeded, but 30 Uchiha elites went to attack the Ishida Patriarch, not only failed to bring Mangekyo Sharingan back, even Uchiha Patriarch died on that Hongzhou Island, which made the Uchiha clan die. I hated the Ishida family so much, Uchiha Kagami gritted his teeth on the sidelines. He regretted that he told Uchiha Futia about Mangekyo riding 01 round eyes, and was even more annoyed that the Ishida family dared to kill their Uchiha patriarch. I hope you can remember this lesson, although Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't like the Uchiha clan, but after all, he has the ability to deal with the Ishida clan. Besides, it was the Uchiha clan's own actions before, so he can't say much. However, he was also sure that those people who appeared suddenly were not all blindfolds, as guessed by the other major powers. Those people are real Jōnin. This made Sarutobi Hiruzen somewhat unacceptable. He has heard that the Ishida family has dozens of Jōnin, and before setting off, he has confirmed that those Jōnin are distributed in various cities managed by the Ishida family. The Jōnins who suddenly appeared on Hongzhou Island, together with the Jōnins distributed in the Ishida family's sphere of influence. Now the number of Jōnin shown by the Ishida family has reached the level of the 5 great ninja villages. That's why Konoha and Fire Nation have been so calm for such a long time, because they have a more accurate grasp of all the current information of Ishida's family. If you attack rashly, you will only fall into the trap of the Ishida family. After that, Sarutobi Hiruzen told those Uchiha people to go back, and then summoned all Konoha high-ranking officials. Hyuga, Inuzuka, Akamichi, Nara, Aburame, Yamanaka, etc., except Uchiha Futa, the patriarch of the Uchiha clan, who died on Honshu Island. The patriarchs of all clans were agreed to be summoned to the meeting hall of Konoha, and Uchiha Kagami also stayed, acting as Uchiha patriarch to attend this meeting. A group of people have known what happened on Hongzhou Island for a long time, and now looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen's broken left arm, none of them spoke. At this time, an Umbu ninja wearing an animal mask came out from behind Sarutobi Hiruzen. On the Land of Rain, our mission to attack Hanzo of the Salamander, the leader of the Land of Rain, failed. Except for Senju Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya Sannin, all our ninjas died at the hands of the other party. Advertisement. As soon as the ninja came out, he immediately spoke out, and the clear words immediately spread throughout the audience, so that everyone could hear clearly. When everyone heard it, their faces froze instantly. Actually, dressed in a blue-gray kimono with loose long hair, Hyuga Heima, the patriarch of the Hyuga clan, moved slightly and couldn't help but let out a low cry. Sannin? Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. The 3 of them were his students, and it was a bit of relief for him to be able to achieve such achievements recently. The 3 adults Tsunade, Orochimaru, and Jiraiya are returning, but the Land of Wind and the Land of Earth are still sending more ninjas. They plan to take advantage of our war with the Ishida family to carry out a military campaign against our troops stationed in the Land of Rain. Shock. After a pause, the Umbu ninja continued. Fengtu and the 2 countries have always had this idea, and they already knew it. But none of them were worried. They just felt that the other party had made a mistake. Immediately call back all of us in the Kingdom of Rain, and it is no problem to give them the resources of the Kingdom of Rain. We are fully prepared to fight the Ishida family. Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke out suddenly, and the content of the words exceeded everyone's expectations. Hearing this, everyone's expressions finally changed. Prepare to go to war with the Ishida family? The Ishida family is just a ninja family in a small country. We only need to send one family to destroy them. Everyone was very puzzled by Sarutobi Hiruzen's decision, and Yamanaka Haikong, the patriarch of the Yamanaka clan, couldn't help but asked Sarutobi Hiruzen. Others also looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, obviously having the same doubts as Yamanaka Hiruzen. What if the Ishida family has a Kage-level juggernaut, several elite Jōnin, and hundreds of Jōnin? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked calmly towards the other party with a calm face. What? Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's rhetorical question, the people around were startled. Hundreds of Jōnin? How is this possible? 780 Yamanaka asked in astonishment. You must know that there are less than 200 Jōnin in the entire Konoha, and the Ishida family, a small ninja family, actually has hundreds. A Jōnin? Because the people from the Ishida family who appeared on Hongzhou Island are all real Jōnin, said Nara Luching next to him. Moreover, the high-ranking opponents all have blood succession limits, especially the head of the Ishida family, Ishida Konkari, who may be able to record a person's chakra and then release a cursed arrow that can track the enemy in an invisible place. Once hit, it is necessary to disconnect the hit part from the body at the first time. Otherwise, the cursed seal will directly invade the heart. Squeeze the heart to burst. Uchiha Kagami next to him also took the opportunity to speak out. He was very aware of the scene where the curse marks entered his heart. If he hadn't used his Anaji in time, he might have died under that strange attack. Hearing this, everyone looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen's severed arm again. and they finally understood who had the ability to cut Hokage-sama's arm. Sarutobi Hiruzen was also suppressing his anger at the moment. Send someone to notify the other 4 major powers and share with them all the information we currently have about the Ishida family. They know what to do. 112. Soon, a month has passed since the Hongzhou Island incident. Konoha's ninjas have all been evacuated from the Land of Rain. This situation is telling all countries that the Kingdom of Fire is really going to war with the Ishida family. Although they don't understand why the Nation of Fire is making such a big fuss, more people still look forward to it. No matter who wins or loses, they want to see the result as soon as possible. The small countries around the country of Tian and the country of Iron are trembling with fear. Countries farther away are constantly sending spies and scouts to inquire about news on the borders of the Land of Fields and the Land of Fire. The other 4 major countries did not have any special performance. Because the ninjas from the Kingdom of Fire were pulled from the Kingdom of Rain, the Kingdom of Wind and the Kingdom of Earth faced each other in the Kingdom of Rain, and the Kingdom of Rain itself did not feel any better and was still in war, but at this time, no one cares about what is going on in the Kingdom of Rain. The upcoming war between the Ishida family and the Fire Nation has attracted the attention of all countries in the world. Compared with the little friction in the country of Rain, people prefer to see the Ishida family surviving under the pressure of Konoha at the same time that the Kingdom of Fire withdrew its troops from the Kingdom of Rain. Ishida's house is not as peaceful as it is full of people. During this month, Ancestral Martial Hall is stationed in all the cities of Iron Country. After countless warriors joined the Zuwutang, they found that their martial arts abilities were increasing rapidly, which made the warriors in the Iron Country even more crazy. Even some samurai families who originally had interests and a wait-and-see attitude didn't care about the Kingdom of Fire at this time. In order to prevent martial arts from being crushed by other families, they even joined the Ancestral Martial Hall. After joining the Zuwutang, there will be special personnel to select all kinds of reliable and loyal warriors, and they will be included as servants of the Ishida family. It was the warriors who became servants of the Ishida family who really saw the magic of the Ishida family. Because Ishida Xinkai successfully redeemed Level 2 martial arts during this month, and the speed of martial arts comprehension and practice has been doubled again. As soon as those samurai joined the Ishida family, they discovered that just being loyal could actually strengthen their own martial arts. Especially under the instruction of Ishida Xinkai, Marine's 6 styles were also made public to those servants. Believers and Ishida Xinkai are mutually beneficial. Those warriors or ninjas believe in Ishida Xinkai and establish a stable incense offering. There will also be a connection between the two, so Ishida Xinkai can say that the various rewards of the ancestral spirit system do not belong to this. The skills and props of the world are given to clansmen and servants to use. However, if the believer becomes disloyal, the state of belief will collapse, and all ties with Ishida Xinkai will be severed. Severing contact with the ancestral spirits, those blood inheritance boundaries, or props, and even skills learned later such as Marine's 6 styles, will lose their original abilities. For example, Marine's 6 styles is not a product of this world, but is further transformed into a body technique suitable for the followers of the ancestral spirit through the Ancestral Spirit Mall. Advertisement: if there is no belief in the ancestors, then people outside the protection of the ancestors are not in the same system, and outsiders cannot complete the cultivation at all. This is also the protection of the ancestors by the ancestor system. For example, the ancestors cannot use props and grant blood succession limits to those who no longer believe in the panel. It is because of the overbearing terms of the ancestral spirit system that people who originally wanted to fish in troubled waters, as well as spies sent by various countries, could not get any benefit from it. And the people of Ishida's family are not fools. All those who sincerely worship can practice the things bestowed by the ancestors, but you can't. There are no ghosts. Once such people are discovered, they are all executed immediately. Therefore, spies from various countries were unable to infiltrate Ishida's home. Some people even wanted to find out some useful news and secrets from the servants of the Ishida family. But without exception, all the clues they got were that the ancestors of the Ishida family appeared, and everything was bestowed by the ancestors. With so many answers like this, some people even wondered if it was really the ancestors of the Ishida family who were blessing the Ishida family. But this fell into Konoha Sarutobi Hiruzen's ears. He didn't believe it at all. Konoha's second Hokage has personally researched reanimation jutsu. Through this forbidden technique, the dead can be pulled back from the pure land of bliss to reality, and they know what life and death are. Therefore, the ancestors of the Ishida family can bestow blood successor boundaries. It is completely nonsense that it can increase the cultivation speed of the clansmen. Sarutobi Hiruzen is more willing to believe that the Ishida family has mastered something that stimulates people's potential and is constantly consuming the vitality of those servants. After all, although such things are unimaginable, they do exist in the ninja world. In the eyes of the whole world, the Nation of Fire first stationed border guards on the border. The 400,000 troops almost formed a human wall at the border of the Land of Fire. On the other hand, Tianjigua didn't know if it was due to the shortage of troops. They just built a few sentry towers and paid close attention to the movements of the Country of Fire from a distance. All countries also know that the so-called battle is actually a battle between ninjas, and the tens of thousands of troops in Tianjigua are of no use at all. Please report to the Patriarch that 100,000 troops from the Land of Fire have entered the territory of the Land of Tian. The target should be Ishida's house in Sinan City. I guess there will be a wave of ninja attacks before they arrive. Ishida's family, Kitano Taro, reported all the information he had. Everyone present nodded. After all, no one would think that the 100,000 troops came to attack Ishida's house in Sinan City, so think about it carefully. Those 100,000 people were more likely to come to clean up the battlefield. As for the one who dealt with Ishida's family, Konoha's ninja naturally took action. 100,000 people? If all of them can be converted into believers, wouldn't it be a big profit? Ishida Xinkai next to him heard the 100,000 people. His eyes flickered suddenly, as if he saw the incense that was waving to him. 113. After that, Ishida Xinkai came to the shrine. At this time, in the huge hall of the shrine, Ishida Mimi is practicing marine six styles with Kanna. Looking at the little girl in front of him, Kanna's face was full of solemnity. He discovered that the bloodline that Lord God asked him to help train had a talent that ordinary people could not understand. And he is extremely intelligent, and he can get through many places with one click. Even, he felt a huge chakra in the opponent's body. Under the feedback and protection of that chakra, Xiaomaya is far less prone to fatigue than ordinary people, and she is still protecting her body at all times, helping her to make her meridians and body stronger, and it will not affect her body. Her normal physical development. Kanna is really hard to believe. This is really a 4-year-old girl? Of course, Kanna could only sigh with emotion, but he didn't dare to speculate on Ishida Shinkai's thoughts casually, let alone speculate on the identity of the 4-year-old girl in front of him. Ishida Xinkai took a look at Maya and found that Maya, who possesses 6 paths level resources, has been forcibly upgraded by herself to 9 times the normal Jōnin, plus the special ability 517 of copying eyes. So Maya doesn't have to worry about chakra at all. Practice and practice of ninjutsu. What she needs now is the taijutsu that cannot be duplicated by the copying eyes. As long as she can improve her taijutsu, Maya will become the most terrifying and peerless genius in the ninja world in the future. Thinking that such a genius was shaped and cultivated by himself, the smile on his face was even bigger. After a pause, Ishida Xinkai didn't come to God, but directly chose the sound transmission. If in the past, whether it was sound transmission, projection, or consciousness generals, all belonged to descending, and it required the consumption of divine power to complete it, but if it was used on Shunwu who was already worshipping a god, it would be more casual. There is no need to consume the power of the gods for the advent of the gods, and Ishida Xinkai does not need to consider maximizing the benefits of the descent. Godless. Ishida Shinkai's voice sounded in Kanna's mind, making Kanna's body tremble, and Izaiki became solemn and respectful. God-sama, Kanna greets God-sama. Abf, Kanna replied in his heart, and bowed towards the shrine in front of him. No need to be polite. Ishida Xinkai said, paused, and continued, Nation of Fire intends to invade my Ishida family. For I am a descendant of the Ishida family, it is a grind. I hope you can bring Maya to the battlefield. Ishida Xinkai said to him in Kanna's heart. Take Ms. Maya to the battlefield? Hearing Ishida Shinkai's order, Kanna's face suddenly changed. This month's getting along has made him love this talented little girl even more. Once she is given enough time to grow, Maya can even make the entire ninja world tremble. But now that she's just torn apart, the ancestor of the Ishida family actually wants her to go to the battlefield, which really makes Kanna feel unbelievable. My lord, Ms. Maya is still young, and Marine 6 Styles is still in a state of understanding. I'm afraid, advertisement okay, deal? Kanna wanted to persuade him, but Ishida Xinkai didn't give him a chance. After he finished speaking, there was no movement. Sensing that Ishida Xinkai had lost contact with him, Kanna naturally did not dare to disobey Ishida Shinkai's order, and immediately bowed to Ishida Shinkai's shrine. Just now, the little servant got caught up, and I have to listen to God's arrangement. After saying that, Camus set his eyes on Maya, who didn't know what happened, and pursed his lips. Just now, he only remembered the age of Xiao Maya, but he forgot the huge chakra in Xiao Maya's body. And Xiao Maya said that every day he would dream of God teaching him some special abilities, which made him instantly feel that his worries just now were superfluous. Maya, don't train today. Follow me to see the patriarch. Shaking his head, Kanna felt ridiculous for his previous worries, and then said to Maya, half an hour later, "What? No, absolutely not. Maya is only so old. How can he go to the battlefield?" Ishida Sorikari exclaimed in the hall of Ishida's house. At this time, Ishida Sorikari looked at Kanna defensively, fearing that the bald head would abduct his granddaughter. Others are also wary of Kanna. After all, Kanna is still an outsider. Kanna had known for a long time that Ishida Sorikari would respond in this way, so he was not in a hurry and just replied lightly, "This is what the Lord God requested." Kanna's tone was very calm. Recalling that Xiao Maya said that he would dream of the grandfather hanging on the wall every day, it must be God himself teaching him. Don't worry about Maya being in danger, not to mention that he is still there. Even if he tries his best, he will protect this 4-year-old genius whom the God is looking for. Hearing Kanna's words, everyone's hearts twitched. If there is anyone who makes them dare not refute, then it must be a non-stone sculpture. In an instant, Ishida Meimong and the others all turned their attention to Ishida Sorikari. Since the ancestors have said it, then, Patriarch, you think about it? Ishida's friend pursed his lips and asked his father with a smile, as if he wasn't the one who protected Xiao Maya behind. This kid. Ishida Sorikari knew that his ancestors had already spoken, and it was impossible for him to disobey. Friend, when the time comes, you and Mr. Kanna must always protect Maya's safety. Ishida Sorikari glared at his friend and said in a deep voice, "Everyone in the Ishida family has inherited Ishida Xinkai's character of protecting the weak, and Ishida Maya is the person that the ancestors favored, and he doesn't want Maya to be in danger." However, none of them knew what kind of terrifying power was in Maya's body. 114. The samurai and ninja servants of the Ishida family were sent out one after another. At the same time, scouts continued to report back and forth on the situation on the front line. Of course, the key point is to pay attention to the movements of Konoha shinobi. Most of the ninjas and samurai of the Ishida family have been stationed in the Valley of Desperation, which is not the only way to the Ishida family and Sinong City. The Valley of Desperation is the main avenue leading to Ishida's house in Sinong City. If you want to enter from other places, you need to bypass the front of Sinong City from a faraway place and attack the city before you can enter the range of Ishida's house. This is also the reason why Ishida Xinkai had the foresight and did not put Ishida's family in Sinong City. Ishida Xinkai had already made a plan. In the event of a war, the Sinong City would block the front. Before the Sinong City was destroyed, they only had to worry about the rear. Is this the Valley of Death? It's a bit of a misnomer. Ishida Dadong came here for the first time with someone, said with some surprise. When Ishida's family heard the order from the patriarch to come to the Valley of Death, he thought that the Valley of Death would be a barren canyon. Unexpectedly, the actual Valley of Desperation is surrounded by mountains and rivers, with green mountains and beautiful scenery, which looks extremely beautiful. In the eyes of Ishida Dadong and other servants, it is really not suitable to be called the Valley of Death. This place was not called the Valley of Death 100 years ago, but later it was because of the ancestors. Ishida Meimong next to him took a deep breath. A look of admiration flashed in his eyes, and said aloud, "Ancestor?" Hearing that the name of this valley could be related to the ancestor, Ishida immediately became interested. Even Ishida's friends and Kanna pricked up their ears and looked towards Ishida Meimong curiously. "I also heard my father mention it when I was young." Ishida Meimong saw that many people were looking at her, her face flushed, and she said with some embarrassment. However, in fact, the reason why this place is called the Valley of Desperation is that it was created by the ancestors and the ancestors of the Tanaka family decades ago. Ishida Meimong took a deep breath, paused, and continued. At that time, Tianji Kingdom had just been formed, and there had been foreign invasions. The ancestors led 800 people to set traps in the valley. With the help of the nearby Tianji River, they drowned 100,000 enemy warriors in one fell swoop. Since then, they're known as the Valley of the Dead. It can be said that the souls of hundreds of thousands of enemy warriors are buried in this Valley of Destiny. Ishida Meimong said with a bright face. The name Ishida Xinkai resounded even more in everyone's minds this time. 800 people drowned an army of 100,000. This is the first time everyone has heard of it. All the people present were loyal believers of Ishida Xinkai, and they all believed in what Ishida Xinkai did, and no one had any doubts. It's just that Kana and Ishida Dadong are a little confused why this kind of thing has not been handed down. But after thinking about it carefully, Kana and Ishida Dadong understood. No matter how strong others are, they belong to other countries. No country will publicize such a shocking thing in their own country. Can't happen. Advertisement, however. Although this valley of desperation is steep, the opponent is a ninja after all, and a ninja from Konoha, the land of fire. I'm afraid it's not that easy to ambush the opponent. Here, Ishida Dadong frowned and said worriedly at the same time. At the other end of the valley, thousands of ninjas have appeared. Among them, 40 Jōnin from various families of Konoha led the team, and the remaining more than 900 people were at least middle-aged. They were divided into teams of 3. Each team was well-equipped, and some teams were even equipped with medical ninjas. You know, because the combat power of medical ninjas is not as good as other ninjas, medical ninjas in various countries are extremely rare, but Konoha actually sent hundreds of medical ninjas to form teams with other ninjas. On the peaks of the valley, there are also many scout ninjas from other countries lurking. After all, everyone can guess that the Valley of Desperation is the most advanced way to attack the Ishida family, and it is also the most suitable place for the Ishida family to block the ninjas' ambush Konoha, so people can guess that there will inevitably be a huge conflict here. Zero looking for flowers, and they are waiting here for the first results. If the Ishida family loses the battle, they will immediately notify the people in the village to come and get a share. And if the Ishida family in turn defeats the ninja force attacked by Konoha, they will reposition the strength of the Ishida family. Mr. Mirror, I see that there are many ninjas hidden in the valley. They should be from Ishida's family. At this time, in Konoha's ninja team, a man with snow-white eyes, Kakuzu, with prominent veins on his forehead and eyes, said seriously to the leading ninja. The ninja led by Konoha this time is Uchiha Kagami. The failure of the last mission and what happened to the Uchiha family made him hate the Ishida family so much that he directly asked to lead a team to destroy the Ishida family. This time is different from the Umbu operation at that time. He brought thousands of people, and they were all elites of various ethnic groups. Uchiha Kagami has already made up his mind to let the other big countries see Konoha by means of thunder. It's amazing. And the Ishida family is the chicken on the chopping board that they kill chickens and monkeys. Do you really think this small valley can stop us? Uchiha Kagami sneered and touched the patch over his eyes. Earth-style put. Uchiha Kagami gave a low snort. In an instant, hundreds of ninjas rushed out, and at the same time, those ninjas pressed their palms to the ground. Earth-style Dilyude. In an instant, the valley trembled, and the turbulent soil instantly turned into sand, and quickly moved towards the valley. Water-style put. Uchiha Kagami's face remained unchanged, and he drank again in his mouth. Hundreds of ninjas rushed out again, without the slightest hesitation, clasped their fingerprints on their fingers, took a deep breath, and then turbulent water jets gushed out from the mouths of those ninjas, quickly mixed with the mud, forming an even more turbulent cement flow. Everything seemed to happen in an instant. The original calm valley was like boiling hot water, and the raging mudslides seemed to overflow the valley with devastating vibrations. Is this the execution power of the Konoha shinobi? It seems that we can notify Lord Raikage to send someone to incorporate the remnants of the Ishida family. 115. Konoha shinobi's collocation and ninjutsu connection are amazing. Everything happened in an instant, and the two combined ninjutsu were released, and the combination of each other was already several times more powerful than the previous simple earth flow day. At the same time, the turbulent mudslides rolled away, and Konoha's ninjas quickly chased them from both sides of the valley. And the ninjas of Ishida's family also felt the movement in the valley. No, there's something in the valley. Everyone use earth-style ninjutsu immediately. Ishida Yongdu immediately reacted and shouted at the servants of Ishida's family around him. Wherever those Ishida family servants dare to neglect, they all have earth-style ninjutsu. In an instant, huge earth walls and rock walls rose one after another, like the Gate 840, completely blocking the valley. At the same time, Ishida Maimong also quickly mobilized Chakra, which spawned vines behind the earthen walls, quickly gathered into towering trees, and stuck firmly behind those earthen walls. With ninjutsu just finished, the mudslide finally rushed over, and the powerful force slapped on the earth wall and rock wall, almost catching it. Fortunately, there is wood style prepared by Ishida Maimong at the back, otherwise it may not be able to withstand the impact of the raging mudslide. The enemy has been found. At this time, the Konoha shinobi who followed also spotted the servants of the Ishida family below, and immediately said to the others, in an instant, hundreds of Konoha shinobi gathered on both sides of the valley. Those ninjas seemed to have already made a plan, and immediately started pinching their handprints to mobilize chakra. And Ishida Dadong also felt the soul breath of those hundreds of ninjas, and his expression changed immediately. There are enemies above. Prepare to defend immediately. Ishida Dadong shouted loudly. He didn't expect those Konoha ninjas to be so tough when they made a move, and a series of attack methods made him feel shocked. Although the servants of the Ishida family had been trained, they were still in a hurry. They quickly formed their own lines and began to make handprints, and the water curtains or earth style were propped up one by one. But in the same way, the ninjas of Konoha have also completed ninjutsu. On the top of the valley, a group of golden fireballs appeared, and the fiery breath roasted the servants of the Ishida family in the valley below. The diameter of the fireball was hundreds of meters, occupying almost half the width of the valley, and there were still flames constantly swirling around. In comparison, the defensive ninjutsu released by the servants of the Ishida family below is not worth mentioning at all. Oops. Seeing the surging flames in the sky, everyone's expressions changed suddenly. Even Ishida Dadong and the others looked solemn. Advertisement: he absolutely did not expect the opponent's powerful joint attack. Just when people were shocked, the fireball began to fall downwards. The fiery breath baked down below, making everyone in the Ishida family flush red from being roasted. As expected of the land of fire among the 5 great nations, once they cooperate, they really won't give the other party a chance to breathe. Ishida Xinkai paid attention to the information fed back from the cage of ancestral spirits on Ishida Datong's body, and couldn't help saying in admiration. He also has to admit that the reason why the 5 major countries can deter other countries is that the ninjas in each village are indeed not comparable to the ninja families in small countries. It's like comparing the well-equipped imperial army with the country warriors. A single one can fight multiple ones, and it is even more daunting to cooperate. However, Ishida Xinkai was not nervous. He just looked at the members of the Ishida family carefully. Through the contact between the 2 parties at this moment, he has already discovered that the servants of the Ishida family have too many disadvantages, whether it is cooperation or mastery. Ninjutsu is far inferior to Konoha's ninja. Coordination is even worse. Although Ishida Dadong is from the Iron Country and is considered a top samurai, he can't command a ninja battle. The biggest fear of joint ninjutsu is imbalance. If there is an experienced commander, those ninjas will not let those ninjas easily throw away their ninjutsu. Ishida's house is gone. We can go to the fortune-telling. Watching the fireball fall, the scouts from various countries watching the battle in the distance already had a result in their minds, and even a ninja from a Wagakure had used the summoning scroll to summon Ninja Hawk to bring the news back. Konoha's powerful means were displayed in front of people, and people remembered that Konoha occupied most of the resources in the ninja world, and they recalled the power of the Fire Nation. The suspicion that the Ishida family would win disappeared immediately. Whether it was Konoha's tyrannical means or the Ishida family's terrible strategy against the enemy, people did not have any hope for the Ishida family. At this time, the Ishida family below did not give up. Wood-style Millennium Tree. Ishida Maimong next to him let out a low cry, and countless vines quickly appeared and began to gather in the middle of the crazy net, and then quickly turned into a towering tree, like clouds covering the sun, blocking the light of the fireball, giving everyone a little coolness. Then, the giant tree was still propped up, as if trying to block the fireball. However, the fireball is a large-scale ninjutsu jointly released by Chakra, which has gathered hundreds of ninjas. The hot temperature above instantly evaporates the water in the leaves, and quickly ignites the crown of the tree. The big tree cannot get close to the fireball. The ninjas below reacted, and wanted to release water-style ninjutsu, but the fireball had already fallen. It seems that we can only retreat. Kana looked at the fireball above 1.5 and murmured. Now it is too late to resist, and can only retreat. However, if they retreated, they would lose the face of the Ishida family, but if they did not retreat, the fireball would be irresistible. Are you going to lose this first battle? Ishida Dadong frowned and murmured. Ishida's friend gritted his teeth, intending to rush forward and use shock escape to disperse the fireball, but suddenly he felt a powerful chakra wave coming from the side. Origin is destruction. All return to pure platinum. Without waiting for everyone to turn their heads, a huge blue pentagram magic circle that continuously rotates like a gear expanded instantly above everyone's heads. 116. After the weird blue pentagram magic circle appeared, the fireball seemed to have entered a static state. What's this? Seeing the blue pentagram rotating like a gear, everyone in the Ishida family was taken aback. But immediately after, they saw that the pentagram was still getting bigger, and its diameter had already exceeded 100 meters in the blink of an eye. But the Ishida family below did not feel any enthusiasm. It emitted blue fluorescence, and with the erosion of the fluorescence, the huge, great fireball burning with raging flames unexpectedly began to smile quickly. Just like cotton candy that fell into the water, it disappeared in just a breath. Feeling the sudden disappearance of the fire in the valley, Konoha's ninja was stunned. At this time, Uchiha Kagami also rushed over with people, looking at the quiet valley ahead, a little strange. What? Has it been done? Uchiha Kagami asked Zero-One in surprise. After all, he just saw the ninjas jointly use fire-style ninjutsu. The leading ninjas of the Uchiha clan hesitated. Nope, our fire-style jutsu is gone. One of the ninjas said. The joint ninjutsu they use is not just ordinary flames. The super high temperature in the center of the fireball can even melt rocks. Once it falls successfully, the entire valley will turn into a lava field. However, looking at the movement ahead, it seemed as if they had all disappeared suddenly. And Ishida Dadong and the others here also reacted and looked back quickly and found that Xiao Maya was raising her hand with a smile. Her eyes were glowing red, and there was an identical pentagram circle in her palm. Just now, Maya saved us? Ishida's friend shrank his pupils and asked in disbelief. The people next to him didn't see it clearly, only Kana had a look of joy. It's Ms. Maya. The Lord God gave Ms. Maya an amazing pupil technique. Kana's face is full of excitement. He has always been curious about what kind of ability Maya's eyes have. But Maya never showed it. She just said that the grandfather has been teaching her to use and master it. Now, he finally saw it. As the person Ishida Xinkai personally asked him to teach, Kana naturally did his best, and even in the moment of crisis just now, he was ready to retreat with Maya first. At the same time, he also saw the red light in Maya's eyes, and two blood-colored pentagrams appeared. He watched helplessly as a pentagram lit up on Maya's palm. The three pentagrams merged into one, turned blue, then disappeared quickly, and then appeared under the fireball again. The fireball ninjutsu was devoured by Maya using the pentagram. Advertisement, Maya. What was that thing you were talking about just now? Shinwu took a deep breath. His complexion became solemn, and he asked Maya. Grandfather Taizu taught me that as long as you understand the origin of chakra, you can analyze and decompose everything that chakra consists of. Xiao Maya's face was also full of excitement at this time. She knew that she was the one who helped everyone out just now. Ishida Xinkai is sitting in the ancestral hall of Ishida's family. Through the cage of ancestral spirits, I am very pleased to see that Maya has just shot. If it is shown that it is still difficult to teach Maya to understand and analyze the origin of chakra, but Ishida Xinkai himself, it's different in the fantasy world. Sometimes when Maya is in the shrine, Ishida Xinkai will use Ruhuan again. In the illusion created by himself, Ishida Xinkai is an omnipotent existence, constantly analyzing the source of chakra layer by layer, deliberately guiding, and even the natural elements were explained to Maya. Although Ishida Xinkai does not have sage art chakra himself, it does not prevent him from explaining verbally. Analysis and decomposition of everything that chakra is made of? Hearing Maya's words, everyone's expressions changed immediately. Analyzing and decomposing all the things that chakra constitutes. Does that mean that any ninjutsu that is not taijutsu can be decomposed? Is this the ability of Maya pupil technique? Looking at Maya's eyes that were still glowing red, and the incomparably weird eyes, everyone was startled, and even felt their scalps go numb. At the same time, everyone was a little puzzled that such a powerful ability was bestowed on the junior by the ancestor. #FL+F=, by the way, she's only 4 years old. 4-year-old invincible in the ninja world? Hiss. Looking at the only 4-year-old Xiao Maya in front of them, everyone thought at the same time, and then took a deep breath. Yeah, it's like that. Maya nodded, then raised her pink and baby-fat little hand to point at the lightning that suddenly appeared in the sky. The Konoha shinobi above noticed something was wrong, and naturally unbelievingly released the joint ninjutsu again. This time, they used the lightning attribute ninjutsu known for its speed and destruction. However, the prelude to ninjutsu has just been formed, and even ninjutsu has not yet released the 873 speed. A giant blue pentagram quickly rises in the valley. With the flickering of the pentagram, the lightning above quickly dissipated, and even the clouds disappeared without a trace, clearing away thousands of miles as if nothing had happened. Huh, why don't they attack? Watching those thunderclouds dissipate, the scout ninjas from other countries on the mountains in the distance looked strange. Could it be to let us see their ability to master chakra, deliberately releasing half of the ninjutsu and then forcibly stopping it? Hey, they are not afraid of chakra in their bodies? Many ninjas thought that this might be Konoha's plan, and their eyes widened, looking at the front in disbelief. However, Konoha's ninjas are also full of horror at this time. What's going on? What about ninjutsu? How about we release such a wide range of ninjutsu? What was that pentagram just now? Uchiha Kagami stared at the crowd and asked. They watched helplessly as soon as the pentagram appeared. Their ninjutsu suddenly disappeared. It really disappeared suddenly. To them, it was as if they had been hit by an illusion. 117. It wasn't just Uchiha Kagami and Konoha's ninjas who were shocked. Everyone in the Ishida family looked at the 4-year-old Miss Ishida in the center of the crowd as if they had seen a ghost. If they hadn't seen this young lady release the same pentagram barrier just now, they probably couldn't believe that the thunder that filled the sky just now was caused by a little girl. After 2 consecutive attacks, Ishida Dadong and Ishida's friends also reacted, knowing that the enemies were gathered on it. The two didn't hesitate, and Ishida Dadong brandished Senbonzakura directly, and a huge sword energy was drawn out, looking at the nearby stone wall. And Ishida's friend even urged the shock escape, and the violent tremor quickly spread to the side of the dodge, and there was a roar, and cracks appeared on the mountain wall. The 200-meter-high electric wall began to collapse rapidly, go down, feeling the violent tremors on the ground, and even cracks appeared. Uchiha Kagami's face changed. Knowing that he and the others had been discovered, he immediately let out a low voice. He didn't want to give the other party time to react. Following his order, those ninjas rushed down densely. Just released 2 super-large joint ninjutsu in a row, and they all disappeared out of thin air, which made Konoha's ninjas stop wasting chakra and started a quick battle. However, everyone in the Ishida family was ready at this time. The servants and commanders of the Ishida family may not be as good as Konoha's ninjas, but if they fight alone, they don't persuade each other at all. In the past month, everyone's chakra extraction speed has increased, and the progress of martial arts practice has increased by multiples. In addition, the Marine 6 styles bestowed by Ishida Xinkai, in just 1 month, many people have already mastered some basics. Chakra, taijutsu, and martial arts have all been improved, allowing the servants of the Ishida family to face the ninjas of Konoha with ease. Miss, let's stay away. Seeing the fight between the two sides, Kana immediately said to Maya. He probably already knew about Ishida Shinkai's plan, just to test Xiao Maya's ability. And now they have all seen Maya's ability. Kana naturally, she wanted to bring Maya to a safe place as soon as possible. Teacher, Maya can help the uncles. Maya shook her head. Seeing Ishida's friends who were already fighting fiercely with Konoha's ninjas, her eyes were also ignited with fierce fighting spirit. Although it was just torn apart, Ishida Xinkai had already seen blood and killing in the environment. If it was an ordinary child, she would have been frightened and stupid, but Ishida Xinkai told Maya that death is just another way or, like himself. Under the guidance of Ishida Xinkai, Maya doesn't feel that death is a terrible thing, and there is even no difference between death and life. Death is life, and life is death. This kind of concept fits very well with the copying eye. The copying eye can analyze and copy creation, and it can also analyze destruction. Creation is destruction. This is the strong reason for the copying eye. Because everything in the ninja world contains chakra, when Maya understands the true meaning of life and death at a deeper level, and masters the Yin-Yang Dun chakra, which represents the power of 6 paths, then she will be able to use the clone eye, decompose and reproduce all things in the world. This is the real purpose of Ishida Xinkai. Only the 6 paths level is obviously not enough to satisfy Ishida Xinkai. Advertisement Ishida Xinkai also doesn't think that 6 paths is the pinnacle, and Ishida Xinkai, who can draw to complete the blood succession limit, thinks so even more. That's why he wanted to make his clansmen an existence beyond 6 paths, help the adults. Hearing Maya's words, she was taken aback. At this time, Maya has already activated her copy eyes again, and the pentagram holding up her pink and thin palm reappeared. At the same time, Uchiha Kagami quickly closed the seal. As the strongest in this action unit, Uchiha Kagami directly prepared a large air-rank ninjutsu. Fire-style, Longyan explosion. Uchiha Kagami completed the seal, took a deep breath, and quickly spit out a huge fire dragon. The fire dragon soared into the sky, overlooking the bottom, and quickly condensed a ball of flames in its mouth. At the same time, the Konoha shinobi who were trembling with the Ishida family below seemed to have been prepared for a long time and retreated quickly. And that Yanlong also brewed enough flames, and just about to spit it out, the same blue pentagram suddenly rose below it. Then, under the illumination of the pentagram, the huge Yanlong quickly melted away, disappearing in the blink of an eye. The members of Ishida's family didn't realize the crisis above their heads, and they immediately resolved it. They directly pursued those Konoha shinobi who had retreated. Even, for some unknown reason, every time they prepare their ninjutsu and release it, they will be immediately melted by a pentagram, whether it is lightning style, fire style, earth style, wind style. Even the secret technique of the Shueiji Jeje family can't jump. On the other hand, the members of the Ishida family can freely release ninjutsu without being affected at all. In this way, ninjas who cannot release ninjutsu are no different from ordinary samurai immediately, and Konoha's ninjas begin to suffer casualties rapidly. It's the girl. Uchiha Kagami also set his sights on Maya at this time, with a confused expression on his face. Although he didn't know the ability of the other party, Qian Zhao, he saw that the girl's eyes were constantly blooming with the same pentagram. Uchiha Kagami felt a little fear for the ability that could directly make their ninjutsu disappear. Oh my god, is this a child of Ishida's family? How old is it? 5 years old? 6 years old? Even if it's the blood succession limit, it needs chakra to motivate it. Where does she get so many chakra? Uchiha Kagami's heart trembled. His mind was full of doubts. He really couldn't accept it. Just now their ninjutsu was the ghost of that 4-year-old girl. Teacher, not only make those ninjutsu disappear, Maya can also reproduce those ninjutsu. At the same time, Ishida Mina poked Kana next to her and said proudly. Afterwards, his eyes flashed, and a huge golden fireball with blazing temperature appeared in front of him instantly. 118. The combined ninjutsu we released just now? Seeing the huge great fireball that suddenly appeared, the expressions of those Konoha ninjas suddenly changed, and they couldn't help but exclaim. What they just released was the same ninjutsu, but it disappeared after falling into the valley, and now it appeared out of nowhere. Could it be transferred away and transferred back? A ninja of the Uchiha clan couldn't help shouting in amazement. No, it's the kid. Uchiha Kagami watched the Ishida family's 4-year-old raised his hands to create the giant great fireball, and said with a solemn expression. He was sure that both the disappearance of ninjutsu and the sudden appearance of the fireball had something to do with the little girl. If there is this child, doesn't that mean that all ninjutsu will be invalid? Looking at the figure of Ishida Maya, Uchiha Kagami's heart sank, and he couldn't help but secretly said, "But now is not the time to pay attention to this, because the fireball has already charged towards them. Block it." Uchiha Kagami raised his arms and said loudly, "They can't be many. If they dodge, they may cause more casualties. Even if Ishida's family chases them up, they may be completely wiped out." For a moment, they experienced the same feeling as Ishida Dadong at that time. No matter what, stop this fireball. Uchiha Kagami shouted, and the others did not speak, and quickly formed seals. Soon, hundreds of ninjas were completed. Then those ninjas took a deep breath, sprayed a billowing water column from their mouths, and rushed towards the giant great fireball released by Maya. Chi. The water released by water style was evaporated into billowing white gas before it touched the fireball, but those water columns were so dense that they actually blocked the fireball's upwelling for a while, forming white water mist all over the sky, instantly filling the entire sky. Piece of battlefield water style Great Falls technique. When the fireball and water style were still in a stalemate, a ninja shouted. Immediately afterwards, the air vibrated, and the turbulent water waves instantly submerged the fireball. More white water vapor appeared, even to the extent that the visibility was less than 3 meters. What's going on? How did Konoha's people spend so long to deal with an Ishida's family? The ninjas from all over the world who had been waiting for the results in the distance were also a little anxious, and said with frowns one by one. Even the ninja hawk summoned by Rock Shinobi of the Land of Earth got a little impatient and flew into the air and circled around, only to find that there was nothing to be seen except the white mist. On the battlefield, Konoha's ninja blocked the fireball and created a large cloud of water mist at the same time. People on both sides did not dare to act rashly. But Uchiha Kagami remembered the girl who could release a pentagram from her eyes. Kill that girl anyway. Heartbroken, Uchiha Kagami hurriedly said to the rear. Advertisement. He knew very well that that girl was the key to victory in this battle. As long as there is that child, their ninjutsu will not be effective, and the other party seems to be able to transfer their ninjutsu back. So they must kill the other party no matter what, otherwise they will definitely lose. They hadn't been able to cut in before because the girl was pointing behind Ishida's house, but this time, with the water mist, they had to finish off the girl before the heavy air cleared. Hearing Uchiha Kagami's order, Konoha's ninja troops did not hesitate at all, and quickly approached Ishida Mimi according to the memory just now. And the ninjas of the Hyuga clan even rolled their eyes, looking for traces of Maya. After all, Maya is small in stature, so she can easily find the white eyes. Found it! A ninja of the Hyuga family caught a young figure not far in front of him. With a smile on his face, he quickly approached and immediately found the figure of a Beth. After that, the ninja was going to do something, but suddenly, a bald man appeared in front of him. Bald as Kanna. What? The ninja of the Hyuga family looked at the figure of Kanna, and his expression changed suddenly, and he wanted to back away. However, Shanwu remained expressionless and quickly stabbed out his 2 fingers. Like a steel nail, Kanna's fingers easily pierced the forehead of the Hyuga clan ninja, and the ninja fell silent instantly. The teacher is amazing. Seeing that Kanna lost the ninja in an instant, Xiao Maya blushed with excitement and shouted loudly. Hearing Maya's voice, the faces of the servants of the Ishida family who were groping for the enemy suddenly changed. They also heard Uchiha Kagami's order just now, and they thought that the other party would not find Maya so quickly, but now Maya's voice directly exposed her position. Miss Maya, you have to be careful. Shinwu also froze, let out a low cry, and looked around warily. Whoosh! 2 whistle-like piercing sounds sounded in succession, and 2 kunai shot towards Maya at high speed. Seeing the 2 kunai, Shinwu's expression froze. He grabbed Maya and quickly backed away. Kunai failed, but a few ninjas with snow-white pupils rushed out from the side. Obviously, they were ninjas from the Hyuga family. The ninjas of the Hyuga family are good at taijutsu, so Kanna will naturally not be afraid of each other. Shave. Kanna took a few steps down the mountain, and in an instant he was drawn between 2 ninjas of the Hyuga family. So fast. The thought just flashed through the minds of the 2 ninjas of the Hyuga clan, and their eyebrows were quickly pierced by Kanwyong's fingers. Adults, please don't worry about defending against the enemy. Miss Maya is protected by a servant, so there will be no problem. Shinwu glanced at his fingers, and there was a flash of joy in his eyes. It was the first time he used the 6-style attacking person bestowed by Lord Shan. He didn't expect the effect to be so good, so he said loudly. As soon as the words fell, several more sufferings came out immediately. However, Kanna used the shaving in the 6 styles to escape directly. Kanna, who already possessed elite Jōnin taijutsu, has now mastered the 6 styles, and his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. He even has many more attack methods. In addition, Maya in his arms can directly break the opponent's ninjutsu. In the mist of water, there is no one who can defeat Kanna's all-in-one enemy. Because Konoha Shinobi focused on Maya, he was massacred by the Ishida family. 119. Konoha's ninjas are decreasing, and Uchiha Kagami's complexion is becoming more and more ugly. Damn it! Uchiha Kagami looked at the white fog around him with a cold face, and wanted to take the opportunity to kill the other child, but unexpectedly, it became their own reminder. Teacher, leave it to me. At this time, a ninja who has not participated in the battle came out from behind Uchiha Kagami. Uchiha Kagami looked over and found that the speaker was Kaido-dan, who was sent by one finger just in case. After Kaido-dan finished speaking, he entered the fog directly, without giving Uchiha Kagami time to react. Looking at the mist ahead, Uchiha Kagami's expression kept changing, and finally calmed down again. There is no spiritualization technique. If it is him, there should be no problem. Taking a deep breath, Uchiha Kagami said sternly. He is the leader of this ninja troop. He has to keep abreast of the situation on the battlefield to direct the battle. Although he is very anxious, he knows that he cannot directly join the battle. Otherwise, if he is restrained, they will fight with the Ishida family. Those ninjas don't make any difference. If I knew it earlier, I would have brought Nara Luching with me. Sighing, Uchiha Kagami frowned and murmured. If he was there, he would definitely be able to make a good judgment, and that guy's shadow seam technique is also the top of the Nara family. However, he also knows that the influence Nara Luching received in Hongzhou Island has not completely healed, and Sarutobi Hiruzen will never agree with him to bring Nara Luching out. Uchiha Kagami was furious at this moment. He didn't expect that there would be a member of the Ishida family who could transfer ninjutsu anytime and anywhere, and how old he was really shocked him. You know, even Namikaze Minato, the most gifted boy recognized by Konoha at the moment by 3rd Hokage, is still studying at the Ninja Academy. And the children of Ishida's family look obviously younger than Namikaze Minato, and they are already able to go to the battlefield at this time. If this is said, no one will believe it. After all, they are only a few years old. No matter how talented they are, there may not be many chakra who are still in the growth stage. If there is not enough chakra, they will die if they go to the battlefield. However, the children of the Ishida family made it impossible for thousands of ninjas in Konoha to fully release ninjutsu. It's fine if you can't release ninjutsu at all, but the ninjutsu in the hands of the Ishida family has never been broken. This kind of rogue style of play makes Konoha's ninja feel aggrieved. Now that everyone knows the ability of that Ishida family kid, everyone naturally puts their hatred on that Ishida family kid. Even, Konoha's loyal heart has already made a decision. Even if he dies, he must not let such a person grow up. Kana constantly relies on her strong physical fitness and Marine 6 styles to protect Maya. Any ninja who rushes over will be killed by Kana immediately. At the beginning, Kana was expelled from the Temple of Fire for violating the precept of killing because he killed a nobleman. He repented and worshipped all the way to Ishida's house. Now that he has joined the Ishida family, he is no longer taboo about killing. He knows that as long as the god is there, he will not be afraid of falling into hell. Even at the expense of becoming a servant of the Ishida family. Advertisement: you must know that servants are not the same as servants. Servants only show their loyalty. Apart from the difference in surname, they are not much different from members of the family. But slaves are inferior to others and completely have no status. Although no one will really regard Kana as a slave, this is enough to show Kana's determination. Here, a ninja with silver-gray hair rushed out again and quickly rushed towards Maya, but Kana was already in the front. Finger pistol. Kana quickly thrust his index finger and middle finger together, tearing the air directly, as if a layer of silver light was attached, and stabbing directly towards the opponent's brow. But it went straight through. Shinwu's face suddenly changed. Spiritualization technique. Not good. Be careful, Ms. Maya. With an exclamation, Shinwu reacted and wanted to block the attack, but it was too late. The figure of Kaido-dan has approached Maya. Zero looking for flowers. Although Maya has the qualifications of 6 paths, only 1 month of practice is not enough for him to avoid Kaido-dan's assassination. But at this moment, a streak of Yin-mang slashed down vertically. But Kaido-dan, who had the chance to win, felt an unprecedented crisis at the moment when the Yin-mang appeared. But thinking of his spiritualization technique, ordinary ninjutsu can't hurt him, let alone a sword. Kaido-dan immediately relaxed in his heart. Next moment, Yin-mang slashed in front of his eyes, and before he attacked Maya, a long knife cut across his arm that turned to Maya. In an instant, Kaido-dan's pupils opened suddenly, his eyes became abrupt, and a heart-wrenching pain came from his arm. Hiss! Taking a breath, Kaido-dan stopped in pain, and after taking 2 steps back, he realized that his arm had been chopped off. At this time, the figure of Ishida Dadong had appeared beside Maya. Obviously, the attack just now came from him. How is this possible? Why are you able to attack my spirit technique? Kaido was bewildered. His self-confidence was shattered at this moment. He waited for Ishida Dadong and asked with double screams. Ishida Dadong didn't answer right away, but then said that a ninja with white eyes touched from the side and cut it in half on the spot. I just sensed a very strong Ryatsu presence through Senbonzakura, and I finally waited for you to make a move, Konoha's Kaido-dan. After that, Ishida Dadong glanced at the Senbonzakura in his hand and said calmly. Although it has not entered the state of liberation, Ishida Dadong can still feel the strength and breath of the soul of everyone within a kilometer radius through Senbonzakura. For others, Kaido-dan is inconspicuous, but for Ishida Dadong, using the spirit technique Kaido-dan, who speaks soul beat far more than others, is like a torch in the fluorescent light among Konoha's ninja troops. If you want Ishida Dadong to pay attention, you will die. 120. Listening to Ishida Dadong's words, Kaido-dan's too look more and more ugly. How is it possible? How did you find me? Kaido-dan didn't believe it at all, and retorted on the spot. But Ishida Dadong didn't intend to talk too much with the other party, stepped on his foot, and rushed towards Kaido-dan quickly. Looking at the blade in Ishida Dadong's hand, Kaido-dan could already feel that the reason why the opponent was able to attack him was entirely because of the knife. The so-called spiritualization technique is the experience that can force one's soul and body to struggle to become a spirit body. In order to invade other people's bodies or spiritual worlds through their own spirit bodies, cause mental breakdowns to others, or control other people's bodies to commit suicide and die. Because the spirit body can, 1-2, ignore any damage other than yin-yang done. So the person who wants to kill Linghua technique must find his body to kill the other party. In addition, the spiritual body of spiritualization technique can also communicate with other people's soul breath and carry out rapid transmission. Whether it is transmitting information or combat ability, it is regarded as a top-level ability, but this ability is in front of Ishida Daidong of Zanpakuto, just like a chicken rib. Ordinary ninjas may have no way to deal with Kaido-dan of spiritualization technique, but Ishida Daidong's Zanpakuto can directly attack the soul. Kaido-dan himself appeared in front of Ishida Daidong in the state of a spirit body, as if all the defenses had been removed. This guy can restrain me and must go back. Kaido-dan looked at Ishida Daidong approaching. His expression suddenly changed, and he thought to himself, wanting to leave here as soon as possible. However, the speed of Ishida Daidong is obviously faster. Scatter, Senbon Sakura. With a low murmur, the blade turned into a sky full of sakura flowers, instantly blocking all of Kaido-dan's escape routes. Even if he communicated with other people's souls, he couldn't leave at all. Then, those sakura flowers fell down one after another without giving Kaido-dan any time to say a word. Every piece of sakura flower that passed across Kaido-dan's body would leave a blood stain, and the blood that flowed out turned into chakra and dissipated in the air middle. The severe pain made Kaido-dan couldn't help screaming out. The shrill scream made Shinwu frown. Master Daidong, Miss Maya is still young. Please end the battle as soon as possible. Kana asked Ishida Daidong sincerely. But Ishida Daidong didn't speak. But the falling speed of sakura flower was much faster. As more and more sakura flowers fell, Kaido-dan's body was covered with scars, just like Ling Chi's pain, which made Kaido-dan even more desperate. Kaido-dan's screams also attracted many ninjas, but without exception, they were all solved by Kanna. The falling of the sakura flower didn't last long. Kaido-dan's soul had already collapsed and dissipated, and outside the valley, in a certain cave, Kaido-dan's body also lost the soul energy. Chakra was cut off directly, and the body also stopped breathing directly. Kaido-dan's voice stopped abruptly, and Konoha's ninjas were shocked. As if they had received an order, they all started to fly back, quickly exited the water mist, and came outside. Master Mirror, Master Kaido-dan may be in danger. Advertisement. As soon as I endured it, I immediately reported to Uchiha Kagami, but the content of the words made Uchiha Kagami's complexion sink. How many of us are there? Uchiha Kagami asked in a deep voice with an ugly expression on his face. Uchiha Kagami had just finished speaking. Beside him, a ninja with a strange metal helmet on his head called out the chakra. At present, there are 772 ninjas on our side who still maintain chakra fluctuations. Master Kaido-dan has confirmed that they have lost chakra fluctuations. The ninja knelt on the ground, surrounded by 4 masked ninjas for protection. They are responsible for reporting the death of their own ninjas at any time. Before the battle begins, their own ninjas will leave their own chakra on the chakra transmission device. The ninjas of the Yamanaka family will track the chakra fluctuations on it through secret techniques. Chakra traces will disappear automatically. It is more similar to the curse seal that the root members will be planted by Danzo. After the death of the seal, the curse seal will disappear, but the effect is reversed. It is mainly used to detect whether the ninja is still alive. Broken. Dead. Hearing the report from the ninja behind him, Uchiha Kagami's face suddenly changed. Although he had already guessed when he heard the report from the ninja who came out just now, he still couldn't believe it. However, what made him even more dignified was that more than 200 of them had already died. Not to mention the injured. Up to now, they still haven't been able to deal with the other party's child, and the situation that they can't release ninjutsu makes him feel extremely resentful. Release lightning style directly on the water mist. Taking a deep breath, Uchiha Kagami gritted his teeth, and suddenly said with a solemn expression, "What is?" Listening to Uchiha Kagami's words, the ninjas present were all shocked, because they still have companions in the water mist. Once they release lightning style, the extremely electric water will attack together with their companions. However, no one refuted Uchiha Kagami's order, and each of them began to seal quickly. Lightning style walk? Counting 0.510 ninjas stepped on their feet and pointed their palms at the water mist in front of them. Stablala! A silver-white arc of blue light flashed and quickly rushed into the king of the water garden. The moist mist instantly turned into a pond of lightning. Immediately afterwards, shrill screams sounded from the mist, and some Konoha shinobi heard the voice of their companions, but they did not stop at all, and continued to inject chakra and release lightning continuously. The lightning speed was very fast, and in an instant, most of the mist was covered, and countless screams sounded, and then stopped abruptly. Seeing that the thunder and lightning were about to spread to the other half of the mist, the huge pentagram appeared again. Immediately afterwards, the lightning in the mist dissipated instantly like the fireball before. 121. The appearance of the pentagram undoubtedly dealt a heavy blow to Uchiha Kagami, who was holding on to his last hope. I expected to catch Ishida's family by surprise with lightning-style speed, but I didn't expect the opponent to block it. Reporting to Mr. Jing in just a moment, the chakra fluctuations of our ninjas were reduced by 13 again. At this time, the ninja of the Yamanaka family behind Uchiha Kagami reported again, which was tantamount to stabbing Uchiha Kagami in the heart again. At this time, Uchiha Kagami's heart was bleeding, and his eyes were burning with raging anger, but he knew that he had to calm down. Uchiha Kagami took another deep breath, but his body was still trembling with excitement. Mission failed. Retreat. After saying this, Uchiha Kagami seemed to have lost all his strength, and he was in a trance. More than 200 ninjas died. Even Kaido-dan was buried here, and they couldn't even kill a little girl of the opponent. Even as ninjas, the only ninjutsu successfully released in the battle was to kill. It is a great shame for 01, Uchiha Kagami, Konoha, and the entire Fire Nation to die. Hearing the order, the eyes of the ninjas present were all red. Although they were not reconciled, they had to. The next moment, a firework was released, which was the retreat signal used by the Umbu ninjas who attacked Ishida's house at that time. However, in the water mist, Ishida Maya sneered when she saw the red light in the sky. I let you go. Do you want to go? Did I allow it? Ishida Mina said in old-fashioned words. The next moment, dozens of ninjas in uniforms and platycodon flower armbands appeared around. Master Ancestral Spirit. As soon as those who endured appeared, they immediately bowed to Ishida Maya and shouted respectfully, "Take me to hunt them down." Ishida Maya's pink face showed indescribable indifference, and she gave instructions to the ninjas who suddenly appeared. Yes, the ninja responded, and one of them directly hugged Mei Yiling and sat on his shoulder, and a group of people rushed towards the direction of Hongmeng. Ishida Maya left, but a group of Ishida's family members looked at each other in blank dismay. Just now, Maya, didn't you? One Ishida's friend asked with some uncertainty. No, that's Lord Ancestor, who just came to save us. Ishida Meimong next to him shook his head immediately, and then said frantically. When those ninjas released lightning-style jutsu, none of them reacted. At the critical juncture, it was Maya who suddenly changed her breath and directly activated the pentagram, dissipating the rushing lightning in an instant. Advertisement besides God, there is no one else who can react faster than thunder and lightning. Kanna next to him was full of reverence and pride, as if he had saved everyone just now. On the other side, Ishida Dadong also nodded in agreement. When he was in Hangzhou Island, he had seen those ninjas in black hunting clothes. Except for the ancestors, no one could command them. Use wind style, blow the mist away, and let's help the ancestors. Ishida Dadong glanced around, and then shouted. The sudden use of lightning style by Konoha's people just now made him feel a little lingering fear. If the ancestors hadn't come to use Maya's body to make a move, I'm afraid they would really be buried in this place there was lightning. At this moment, Ishida Xinkai sat on the shoulder of a first-level war spirit with the help of Maya's body, and led a group of war spirits out of the water mist. Seeing a group of ninjas suddenly appear in front of them, and even one of them brought the person they dreamed of killing, Uchiha Kagami, who was still angry just now, was taken aback for a moment and blinked in disbelief. Kill that girl. After making sure he wasn't hallucinating, Uchiha Kagami had only one thought in his mind. Kill her. Originally, he thought that killing Ishida Maya was hopeless, but unexpectedly, he came to his door. He naturally wanted to solve this serious problem for Konoha before retreating. And Ishida Xinkai didn't talk nonsense. With an indifferent expression on her pink face, she ordered coldly in her mouth. Kill. It can be said that the war spirits obeyed Ishida Shinkai's orders. Even facing 10 times their number of ninjas, they did not hesitate at all. In an instant, except for the battle spirit carrying Ishida Xinkai, the other 71 battle spirits all rushed up. Level 1 war spirits all have the strength of Jōnin, although the ninjutsu mastered is only those known by Ishida Xinkai, but that is also the strength of Jōnin. Besides, almost everyone has mastered the spirit technique, except lightning style. No one present can cause harm to those war spirits. In an instant, the ninjas of the two sides collided, But more ninjas rushed towards Ishida Maya, who was currently possessed by Ishida Xinkai. Even Uchiha Kagami took the shot himself. 233 Ishida Maya, who was only 4 years old, took control of her body because of the arrival of Ishida Xinkai. Her pink face was still calm, and she raised her little hand at the same time. Air shock. Ishida Maya's small hand grabbed it, and the space began to tremble violently in an instant, and the speed of the ninjas rushing towards Ishida Maya suddenly slowed down, as if they had fallen into a muddy swamp. How many chakras are there? Uchiha Kagami was startled, and quickly urged the Sharingan, and found that the air in front of him was filled with the little girl's chakras. But the next moment, Uchiha Kagami's face became even weirder. I saw that the chakra pervading in the air quickly began to vibrate the air, and the tremor became more and more violent, even affecting the bodies of those ninjas. At the same time, Maya gently grasped it with her tender palm. Strong earthquake. In an instant, the ninjas caught in it seemed to be caught by an invisible force. Their bodies quickly collapsed and instantly turned into clouds of blood mist. 122. In an instant, more than a dozen ninjas exploded into blood mist, and Konoha's ninjas were stunned. And the ninjas from other countries who thought there was a good show on the hill in the distance widened their eyes. Originally, they thought that the ninjas from Konoha came out because the battle was over. But now it looks, no matter how you look at it, it looks like it was punched out. Could it be Konoha's people lost? For a moment, the scout ninjas of all countries were startled, and became more and more sure of this idea. What just happened? Those Konoha ninjas. The ninja of Cloud Shinobi Village asked in astonishment. They thought they knew the Ishida family well, but they didn't even know what the Ishida family did. This ability must be recorded. It's too weird. The ninja from Cloud Shinobi Village shook his body, then took a deep breath, and said hastily. In addition to ninjutsu, Cloud Shinobi Village also has a powerful close-handed swordsmanship. If someone close to Ishida's family explodes for no reason, it will really be restrained by the Ishida family. However, there are also people from small countries who recognize those first-level war spirits who rushed out later. Those people were obviously the ninjas of the Ishida family, who appeared in the Tiandifu Gymnasium at that time. Are those ninjas real? Really Jōnin from Ishida's family? I haven't figured out what happened in the valley just now, but the ninjas who appeared in front of me gave the housekeepers from various countries full of greetings. The 5 major countries have already communicated, and Yukanaha told the 5 major countries all the information about Ishida's family. But these small countries don't know it, and each of them was shocked because the ninjas from Ishida's family that appeared in Tiandu Prefecture were real. At that time, everyone guessed that those ninjas were only able to be so calm because of deception. Everyone thought that the Ishida family did not have so many Jōnins at all, but those ninjas they regarded as deception actually appeared, and they were really Jōnins. Ninjas have an urge to scold their mothers. However, at this time, the one who wants to scold her more is of course Uchiha Kagami. This is definitely not something a child can do. Who are you? Uchiha Kagami trembled with excitement, pointed at Ishida Mina, and asked loudly. He can now be sure that neither temperament nor state of mind, nor chakra, can be possessed by any child. He felt that facing the child in front of him was like facing an old monster that had lived for hundreds of years. Uchiha Kagami has never seen that kind of mood and courage. If the kid in front of him is really 4 or 5 years old, he wouldn't believe it if he was killed. Ishida Xinkai controlled Maya's body, raised the corner of her mouth, and sneered disdainfully. I am the ancestor of the Ishida family. Ishida Xinkai didn't hide anything, and said directly and slowly. There is nothing to hide. The Ishida family has already spread the word that Ishida Xinkai protects the Ishida family, and Ishida Xinkai does not feel repelled by disclosing her identity. In addition, after the arrival of Ishida Xinkai, with the help of the ancestral spirit's own power and the power of the gods, she can use all the abilities that the ancestral spirit has extracted. Others, however, reacted differently. The young and relaxed voice of Ishida Mina spread to the ears of the surrounding ninjas, and the expressions of those Konoha ninjas changed. It's actually true. Advertisement Uchiha Kagami was a student brought out by second Hokage Senju Tobarama, and he knew very well the forbidden technique in pure world reincarnation developed by Senju Tobarama. Nature is also very clear about the final destination of the soul. And impure world reincarnation is to bring the souls in the pure land of ultimate bliss back to reality and resurrect them with the help of the bodies of the living. So Uchiha Kagami did not doubt the identity of Ishida Xinkai. On the hills in the distance, what are they talking about? The ninja of Cloud Shinobi Village asked his companions. If you can be sent as a scout, you will naturally send someone who understands the spoken language. After all, they are fighting, so you can't go up and listen, right? That little girl seems to say that she is the ancestor of the Ishida family. Another ninja who knew spoken language in Cloud Shinobi Village frowned and said somewhat uncertainly, "For them, the resurrection of the dead is an extremely strange thing. Naturally, I don't want to believe it, but considering the recent performance of the Ishida family and the shrines that are constantly being built, it makes people a little suspicious. Can people really come back from the dead?" Unknowingly, the hearts of the ninjas have been planted with seeds of doubt. Uchiha Kagami didn't doubt Ishida Xinkai's words, but his complexion kept changing. Retreat. We retreat. If the opponent is really a child, they still have a chance to kill each other, but if the opponent is an old monster now, they have no possibility to kill each other at all. After finishing speaking, Konoha's ninja quickly retreated. But Ishida Xinkai frowned. "Are you allowed to go?" Ishida Mina's childish voice sounded again, and in front of those Konoha shinobi followers, a tall and straight figure holding a sword appeared instantly. "It's you." Looking at that person, Uchiha Kagami immediately exclaimed. The one who appeared in front was the sword saint Yui Chungsuin. Uchiha Kagami could not forget that it was because of this person that they were defeated so badly outside the capital of the Iron Country. Yui Chungsuin did not speak, and drew his sword directly. And the other 71 first level, good, battle spirits rushed up again. Konoha's ninjas fought with those ninjas in an instant. And Ishida Xinkai controls Meiya's body and sits on the shoulder of the war spirit, urging the copy eyes at all times. Once Konoha's people use ninjutsu, they will directly activate the copy eyes, starting with chakra and directly clearing the opponent's chakra. The ninjutsu in the hands of the war spirits is constantly flying, but on the other hand, those Konoha shinobi can only rely on body skills, or throwing kunai to fight, which seems extremely aggrieved. At this time, Ishida Xinkai asked the battle spirit who was pulling Maya, "Have you brought the shrine?" Without hesitation, the war spirit immediately took out a summoning scroll and summoned a shrine with Ishida Xinkai's spirit seat on it. "Okay, open, ancestral spirit realm," nodded, and Ishida Xinkai gave instructions to the ancestral spirit system in his heart. 123. The last time I killed so many Uchiha people on Hangzhou Island, Ishida Xinkai was distressed for a long time because they failed to record their ninjutsu and blood succession limits. You must know that most of the ninjutsu currently recorded by Ishida's family was collected when Ishida Xinkai was still alive. It is barely enough to make up one A-level ninjutsu for each department, let alone S-level ninjutsu. Even Ishida Xinkai himself has never learned it, so there are not many ninjutsu available for learning in the clan. After all, not everyone can do a few A-level ninjutsu and S-level ninjutsu like Senju Tobarama and Konoha's generations of Hokage. The development of ninjutsu is like a cheat book. There are very few of them. At the beginning, the country of water just developed the water dragon bomb technique, and it was immediately taken by the country of earth to plagiarize and research the earth dragon bullet. It is enough to imagine how ninjutsu in the ninja world is rare. So, this time, Ishida simply asked the war spirit to move all the shrines in the ancestral hall. The purpose is to be able to bring the battlefield into the scope of the ancestral spirit world and record all of Konoha's ninjutsu. Ding! The ancestral spirit world is open, and within 10 kilometers of all the shrines, all life forms will be recorded with their 303 abilities before death, and the blood succession limit possessed by the death ninja can be engraved. Note: the ancestral spirit world can be opened continuously, consuming 1 point of divine power every second, 1 per second. After Ishida Xinkai ordered, the system immediately gave a reminder, but when Ishida Xinkai saw the price of opening the ancestral spirit world later, the corner of his mouth twitched. Quick battle. Without further hesitation, Ishida Xinkai immediately ordered to all the war spirits. And those war spirits didn't hold back their hands anymore, and didn't even do defense, and directly fought those Konoha ninjas desperately. Konoha's ninjas are getting more and more exhausted. They don't dare to release offensive ninjutsu anymore, because every time they release it, they will be cleared by the pentagram barrier, wasting the chakra in their body, and can't deal any damage to the enemy. Harm. Facing those Konoha shinobi who can't release ninjutsu, Mamoru Buromo is even more straightforward. He specializes in attacking the strong Konoha. Sword, every time the Dragon Shadow Sword Light sweeps, can harvest the life of a wood, ABD, leaf ninja. Soon, Chungsu and Yui faced Uchiha Kagami. You actually arranged so many masters ahead of time. Uchiha Kagami gritted his teeth and said with a cold face. The sudden appearance of so many masters, in his opinion, was naturally arranged by the Ishida family in advance. First the child of the Ishida family, then so many guys with Jōnin strength, and a Kage-level sword master. It directly disrupted all of Uchiha Kagami's calculations, and made Uchiha Kagami have to believe that he had fallen into the trap of Ishida's family. It's the sword master from Tenji country. I didn't expect the Ishida family to invite him back in order to deal with Konoha. It seems that Konoha may really be planted this time. Looking at the familiar figure, the scouts from all over the world already had the answer in their hearts, and now they are all guessing how Konoha will resolve this crisis. Even the Kage-level swordmasters have been dispatched. It seems that the Ishida family is really about to fall out with the Fire Nation. If the ninjas of the Fire Nation are defeated this time, Konoha Shinobi will definitely usher in a crazy counterattack. Everyone is very clear that with the strength of the Fire Nation, they will never allow any disobedient existence at their doorstep. The Fire Nation is able to overwhelm the other four major powers not only because of its benevolent government, but also because of its strong deterrence against neighboring countries' advertisement. If the Kingdom of Rain had to find a way to self-destruct because it was bordered by the three kingdoms of wind, fire, and earth at the same time, it would be reasonable to reject the Kingdom of Fire. Then the Ishida family really wants to deal with the Land of Fire. This is the first time that other forces have challenged the authority of the five great nations since the establishment of the five great ninja villages. At this time, Uchiha Kagami faced Chungtsuan Yui. His heart was burning with anger, but he didn't dare to confront him head-on. We must find a way to escape. If the whole army is wiped out, Konoha will become the laughing stock of the whole world. Taking a deep breath, Uchiha Kagami said solemnly in his heart. But at this time a red light has swept over. It was the Sanjiang phantom sword held by Yui Chungtsuan. It looks like two blood-colored dragons entangled on it, and the bloodlight is shining. Just facing Uchiha Kagami feels that his physical strength is being absorbed by the sword. Uchiha Kagami didn't dare to resist, and the Sharingan turned quickly, caught the swordlight, and quickly dodged from the side, avoiding Yu Chungtsuan's attack. However, Chungtsuan Yu's attack was not in vain. He took advantage of Uchiha Kagami's dodge and directly cut the two people guarding Uchiha Kagami in half. Uchiha Kagami's expression changed instantly. At the same time, Ishida Dadong also rushed over with the servants of Ishida's family. With Ishida Dadong and the others joining the battlefield, Konoha Shinobi, who had an advantage in numbers, suddenly became more difficult. "Rush out!" Uchiha Kagami shouted. He already knew that at this moment, they were all powerless to revolving heaven, and what they could do now was to do everything possible to preserve the fighting power for the village. Hearing Uchiha Kagami's order, those Konoha ninjas stopped entanglement, quickly used the body replacement technique, and kept fleeing to the distance, and pulled out hundreds of meters in a few breaths. "Don't let go of any of them." Ishida Xinkai ordered again. Yui Chungtsuan directly abandoned Uchiha Kagami, and quickly came to the periphery of the battlefield. Slash through the air. The huge crescent-shaped sword light swept out instantly, and caught up with those Konoha shinobi who had just broken out of the encirclement in the blink of an eye. The sword light swept over those ninjas. His body was disjointed, and then, endless darkness struck, and he lost all consciousness directly. With just one blow, hundreds of Konoha shinobi were directly buried under the light of the sword. No. Seeing the ninja he brought killed another 100 people in an instant, Uchiha Kagami wailed in pain. Under the great pain and mental stimulation, Uchiha Kagami's eyes began to turn rapidly. Then, the black Goyu formed a circle, and the three Tomo became a smaller circle. Under this great stimulation, Uchiha Kagami opened his own Mangekyo Sharingan. 124. The moment he opened Mangekyo Sharingan, Uchiha Kagami's whole aura changed. Even Ishida Dadong felt a little pressure when he looked at Uchiha Kagami's eyes. Mangekyo is turned on. Ishida Xinkai looked at Uchiha Kagami's change and said something in surprise, but she wasn't worried. Her eyes remained calm. It's just Mangekyo, and there is only one eye. In addition to having stronger insight and having the exclusive pupil technique, Uchiha Kagami, who only has one eye, can't even release Susanoo, but Uchiha Kagami looked at Ishida Mina. The pupils of the eyes turned rapidly, and Maya's gaze made contact with it, and Ishida Xinkai, who was in control of this body, fell into a strange scene instantly. Ishida Xinkai was deep in a courtyard at this time, and a woman's painful voice kept coming from the house next to her. As time passed, the woman's painful voice became weaker and weaker, and everyone panicked. Ishida Xinkai also remembered that this was when his wife had a difficult labor. In an instant, Ishida Xinkai was awakened. What about people? What about medical ninjas? All medical ninjas must save Xiao Wu's life no matter what. Ishida Xinkai shouted quickly and rushed into the house with the medical ninjas. No. But not long after, Ishida Shinkai's unwilling cry resounded through the courtyard. But after a while, the scene changed again and began to repeat itself. The chakra in Ishida Maya's body began to pound in her body. Her little face turned pale. When the war spirit came to his senses, he quickly injected chakra into Maya's body, disrupting those chakras running around, and Ishida Xinkai immediately woke up. However, Ishida Xinkai could feel that because of the illusion, the chakra in Ishida Maya's body had destroyed her body so badly that even her breathing became weak. Experience hundreds of thousands of the most painful moments in an instant. Even if you can withdraw from my illusion, you will die. Uchiha Kagami had tears of blood flowing from the corner of his eyes, but he didn't care. He just looked at the pale Ishida Maya and said with a sneer, "This is his pupil art, Yu Chuijin." Activated with the power of the pupil, once the opponent is tricked, he will experience the most painful time hundreds of times in an instant. It is an illusion that will end in an instant. Even if chakra is disturbed, it will not help. Name, Ishida Mina. Identity, branch house tribe, Ishida family, gender, female. Age, 4 years old. Blood successor. Boundary, ice escape, copy. Amount of chakra, 909. Belief status, worship, 0.3. Incense value is fixed every day. Life status, critically injured. Skills, capital of 6 paths. Seeing the state of Ishida Maya, Ishida Shinkai's face suddenly sank. Exchange, healing scroll. Healing scroll. There are a lot of medical chakra sealed inside, which can quickly heal the wounded. 10 divine power / peace. Divine power -10. Advertisement. Ding. The exchange was successful. Do you want to use it? Use. Ishida Xinkai said hastily in her heart. Then, Maya's body was quickly wrapped by a light green chakra, and a large amount of medical chakra rushed into Maya's body, so that the meridians in her body damaged by the chakra collision were quickly restored, and the injured organs also quickly recovered. Maya's originally pale complexion also recovered immediately. In just a few breaths, Maya recovered from all the damage she had suffered due to the illusion, just like when she was not injured. What's going on? Uchiha Kagami was stunned for a moment, looking at the girl who had recovered from the original, a little stunned. His pupil technique has an impact on the body and the spirit at the same time. No matter how strong the system is, it can only recover the body. It is impossible for the spirit and soul to recover so quickly. But he didn't know that at this time the body-dominated soul was Ishida Xinkai. His pupil technique can cause damage to Maya's body, but it can't help Ishida Xinkai. Ishida Xinkai is already a dead person, and is now in the state of an ancestor spirit. His soul belongs to the entire Ishida family, accompanied by countless believers offering incense. If it wasn't for the fact that it wasn't Ishida Shinkai's ancestral body, he wouldn't be affected by the illusion at all. Zero, ask for flowers? Very well. UP********* D me off. Although Ishida Xinkai was not hurt, Uchiha Kagami reminded him of the past that he least wanted to experience, the reincarnation of the previous 100 lives, which made Ishida Xinkai more tenacious in the pain. Ishida Shinkai's indifferent words reached Uchiha Kagami's ears, making him shiver involuntarily. Run. You can't stay here anymore. Facing the cold-faced girl in front of him, Uchiha Kagami fell into a panic at this moment. There seemed to be a voice in his heart that kept urging him, wanting him to leave here as soon as possible. Seeing the girl get up and fall to the ground, Uchiha Kagami turned around and tried to escape regardless of hesitation. Seeing Uchiha Kagami's appearance, Bushinkai's face was cold. Shave. The young figure of Ishida Maya disappeared instantly, but Uchiha Kagami only felt a flash in front of his eyes, and the figure he least wanted to see appeared in front of him. Damn it, die for me. Uchiha Kagami's face became ruthless, and he directly raised the knife in his hand and slashed forward. 5 color strings. Ishida Xinkai murmured softly, and her young palm quickly passed across the front. The sharp silk thread cut off Uchiha Kagami's palm in an instant. With style-thrusting spear, countless vines sprang up from behind Ishida Mimi, directly disturbing Uchiha Kagami. Over the whip line. Immediately afterwards, countless thin threads appeared in Ishida Maya's pink and tender hands, twisted into a long whip. Immediately afterwards, the long whip began to vibrate violently, as if cutting the space apart. This is Ishida Xinkai directly using the power of the gods to attach the power of the shock escape to the thread escape. Through the violent tremors, the power and cutting ability of the whip are greatly increased. Line shock air kill. The white light hung down in an instant, and Uchiha Kagami was cut in half vertically along with the wood-style vines tied around him. And all of this just seemed to happen in an instant. When Uchiha Kagami was about to die, his eyes were still filled with astonishment and confusion. He didn't understand why a 4- or 5-year-old child could burst out with such terrifying power. 125. It took less than a minute for Uchiha Kagami to activate Mangekyo Sharingan and be killed by Ishida Xinkai. Although Uchiha Kagami was beheaded, Ishida Xinkai did not intend to end there. Ishida Xinkai just wants to vent her anger after the painful meeting of hundreds of generations. Come. Ishida Xinkai raised his hand and gave a low drink. Senbonzakura and Ishida Datong's hand vibrated instantly and escaped Ishida Datong's control. In the astonished eyes of Ishida Datong, Senbonzakura fell into the hands of Ishida Xinkai. The moment I held the Zanpakuto, Ishida Xinkai saw the soul of Uchiha Kagami who was about to ascend to heaven. Uchiha Kagami was killed, and his heart was full of unwillingness and hatred. Now that his soul is about to ascend to heaven, he still couldn't let go of his obsession. 270 Wait, Ishida family, I have already mastered all your secrets. When my soul ascends to heaven, the people of Konoha will use impure world reincarnation. Konoha, the country of fire, will definitely make a comeback. At that time, the entire country of Tian perish. Uchiha Kagami is no longer as calm as before. The attack of the ninja troop organized by thousands of people ended in failure, and even the entire army may be wiped out. This is a loss that Konoha has never suffered since its establishment. The pride in his heart has been affected. It was a huge blow, and he, who inherited the will of fire, couldn't accept that Konoha would suffer a loss of reputation. Whether it's because the Uchiha family suffered heavy losses because of the Ishida family, or Konoha's prestige is going to be wiped out, even if he dies, he still can't let go of the hatred for the Ishida family in his heart. You don't have that chance. At this moment, Ishida Xinkai suddenly made a sound, raised her head, looked up at Uchiha Kagami who was about to ascend to heaven, and said calmly, "What?" Seeing that the other party could actually see his dead self, Uchiha Kagami's expression changed immediately. But at the next moment, the sword light flashed, and Uchiha Kagami's soul was torn apart directly, and he dissipated into the air without even screaming. Konoha lost, and must leave Tian's Higuo very quickly. Seeing that everyone in Ishida's family joined the battle, Konoha's ninjas retreated steadily, and because of the relationship with Juggernaut Yui Chengtsuan, they couldn't escape. The scouts from other countries immediately confirmed the result, and then quickly left far away. Place. Soon after, all the ninjas of Konoha were killed. By the time Ishida Datong brought people to Ishida Maya, Ishida Xinkai had already escaped. And Ishida Maya also fell into contact with Ishida Xinkai, and fell into a sound sleep under exhaustion, guarded by Kanna. Master Ancestor? Ishida Datong brought all the servants of Ishida's family over, knelt on the ground, and called out cautiously. But Maya was already asleep, and didn't respond in the slightest. Adults, don't be nervous. Lord God has returned to the spirit world. Kanna looked at the tense faces of the crowd, and couldn't help but reminded them aloud. Left. Hearing Shan Wu's words, everyone was taken aback, and suddenly felt a little lost. Advertisement Maya. Is she all right? Ishida's friend and Ishida Maimong next to her subconsciously looked at Maya and asked in a low voice. Just now they saw with their own eyes that the Uchiha clan used illusion on Maya. Miss Maya looks very good. She has recovered. But she is a little tired. Just take a rest. Kanna also looked at Maya, and then said in a low voice, for fear that he would disturb Maya's rest by being too loud. From Kanna's point of view, Kamui-sama uses Maya's body to come to battle and show Kamui. Maya is already equivalent to Kamui-sama's spokesperson, and Kanna is also proud of being able to be the guide of future Kamui-sama's spokesperson. At this time, Ishida Xinkai had already returned to the shrine of Ishida's family, and his face was still a little bit brooding. Damn. The old man has been suppressed for half his life, and that damn guy actually brought up my sadness again. Ishida Xinkai was floating on the divine case, surrounded by incense, but he couldn't calm down the anger in his heart. The saddest thing in his heart was the fact that his first wife died of dystocia when giving birth to the youngest son. Poor Xiaowu, you just ended your youth in your 20s. Sighing, Hanada Xinkai was still a little sentimental. But after a pause, Ishida Xinkai's gaze became sharp again. Don't worry, one day, I will enter the land of Elysium to pick you up. Before that, I hope that the gang of dead people in Miyamoto's family didn't make things difficult for you. Otherwise, I will definitely let their souls fly away. A cold light flickered in Ishida Xinkai's eyes. If Uchiha Kagami knew that his illusion not only did not sink Ishida Xinkai, but aroused Ishida Shinkai's ambition to dominate the ninja world, I am afraid that he would regret it even more. Making up his mind to pay attention, Ishida Xinkai quickly calmed himself down and then set his sights on the system. At this time, on the information panel of Ishida Xinkai, the divine power that originally had more than 1,000 points was less than 300 points. Whether it is the continuous opening of the ancestral spirit world, or Ishida Xinkai relying on Maya's body to release with style, shock escape, and line escape, and even marine 6 styles are extremely consuming of divine power. After all of these require high physical strength. If he does not choose to consume the power of the gods, Maya's body is simply not enough to support those ninjutsu. Originally, Ishida Xinkai didn't intend to make a move, but he noticed that those ninjas were releasing lightning style with the help of the ancestral cage, so he came directly to 0.2 and activated the copy eyes in time, so that thousands of servants of Ishida's family the minister survived. System, this time, how many people have been recorded in the ancestral spirit world? How many abilities and blood inheritance limits are there? After reading the consumption, it's time to start counting the loot. Ishida Xinkai asked the system in his heart. Ding. The ancestral spirit world opened for 664 seconds and consumed 664 points of divine power. During the period, the number of deaths was 1096. Recorded death toll, 1096. Record martial arts moves, 98 types. Record ninjutsu, 136 kinds. Recording mysteries, 6 kinds. Record blood succession limit, 2 types.
Thanks for watching. You can find the next videos in the playlist linked in the info card, directly on my channel, or right here on the screen. And as always, if you have any feedback, feel free to share it in the comments too.